god. So, what was I gonna say? My brain is just not braining today. So yeah, I literally have been rushing, like, I've been rushing like just before stream, like, my brain is just not braining, cause I put my wash, I got home like an hour ago, right, and I immediately just put my washing in because I needed it, cause we had spaghetti bolognese for tea, and I just got it all over my jumper. So I need to put that in the wash before it like permanently stains. And I was just rushing to put, and I literally put it in an hour ago. And I thought, oh, it's gonna get done by like 20 past. That'll be fine. I was not fine. I was rushing. I was like, and it got to like 25 past, and I was like, oh shit. This is not gonna be good. And YouTube would not like that I'm just saying shit all over, shit all over the place, but whatever. And did I upload my VOD from Wednesday? Not from Wednesday, today is Wednesday. From Monday, I can't even remember. I think I did, but I'm gonna have a quick look. Because I had it in my drafts, and I did. Okay. Yeah. Let's get back into more Great Attorney Chronicles, because that's what we're all here to watch. So, yeah. So I'm gonna get back into this. We're back in the Old Bailey. We're back at the start of Trial Part 2. Yeah, so yeah, I'm looking at this. We have 2 cross-examinations, so this shouldn't be the long part of the stream. The majority of the stream will be taken up by the investigation, like Monday's stream was. And Chrome, I swear to God, Chrome, it just lags out shit. And why don't I need open? I have everything open that I need open. Okay. So yeah. Mr. Naruhodo, what on earth were you playing at just now? Or rather, what on earth were you playing at all along? Oh yeah, this is our client, by the way. This is Hairbrain. My amazing hypothesis. You've been picking holes in it from the start. Sorry about that. Again, that is the point of a hypothesis. But you promised me. You said you'd prove that Dried explosion was an accident, not murder. You said you'd keep my precious invention from falling into anyone else's hands. But all you've done so far is try to undermine me. Yeah, I did make you a promise, you're right. I said that I'd believe in you and fight for your freedom to the very end. But I also told you I was no scientist. I don't understand your hypothesis. The fact is, there's no undeniable flaw in your logic, isn't there? But if I just run through some equations, yeah, you see, it's because my work is incomplete. Perhaps it is. Nevertheless, a man died as a consequence, didn't he? Oh no! Yeah, unethical research. You're right. You're so right. It's all my fault. And I have no right to blame you for my failures. I'm a disaster, not just as a scientist, but as a human being. Well, that might be a little over the top. I'm just gonna keep like slightly insulting this guy's like research, because I do psychology. I want to go into psychological research, so I'm just gonna slightly like bully him because of how he just does not really understand how a hypothesis works, and a hypothesis is like kind of like made to be disproven or proven. Like that's the whole point. So yeah, and while we're on the subject, What about Barok? He's being awful. Claiming his old university friend to be a murderer, you mean? He's a disaster. Not just as a prosecutor, but as a human being. I mean, that's kind of his job. But also, I mean, it's kind of his job, isn't it? To prosecute people. It's in the job title. He can't just like break the rules of his job just cause his old university friend is on the stand. Because what from it looks like? Cause like from what it looks like, he like from how I assume Barok understands it, his old university friend might have actually killed this guy and tampered with his own invention. So yeah. Oh, but no, wait, he's the Reaper, isn't it? Perhaps he's not classed as Homo sapiens anymore. Glad that's cleared up. Can I double check something with you? Ah, yeah? What? The machine and demonstration you prepared, they were based entirely on your hypothesis, I presume. There were no trickery involved? I drew the plans for the machine with my very own hands. Every line was painstakingly drawn with the firm belief that science is the only future. So yeah, it is true that my hypothesis hasn't reached maturity yet, but please, Mr. Naruhodo, you must believe in it. Alright, Professor. I understand. Counsel, defendant. The prosecution's witnesses are ready to take the stand. The court is about to be in session again. Make your way into the courtroom, please. Okay, get back into the court. Back in court. It all hinges on that demonstration. If the professor's hypothesis is sound as he claims, it leaves him as the only person who could possibly have killed the victim. But on the other hand, Mr. Sholmes was adamant. A practical implementation, such as was attempted by the professor at the Great Exhibition, is quite impossible. So really, what should I be trying to prove here? I'm gonna turn up my music a little bit, just a little bit. And we're back in the courtroom. Lord Bailey courtroom. And here are our new jurors. I keep forgetting that we have new jurors. It's just... it feels weird that we have new jurors. It just feels weird. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby reconvene the proceedings of the court. Like, yes, have I been slightly complaining that we need new witnesses? New jury members, even not witnesses? Have I been slightly complaining that we need new jury members? Yes. But also, do I kind of miss the old jury members? Yeah, I kind of miss Foreman. He was great. Counsels for the defense and prosecution. Are you ready for the new witnesses to testify? The prosecution is ready, my lord. As is the defense, my lord. So, Lord Van Zieks, I believe these next witnesses saw the demonstration on the day in question with their own eyes. Indeed they did. And as luck would have it, one of them is a police detective, so the testimony we're about to hear can be considered highly reliable. Perfect, a detective of our people. The prosecution's stance remains unchanged. Though it ended in tragedy, the demonstration on the day in question was scientifically sound. And consequently, the sole person with the opportunity to have committed this act of murder is the only other individuals who have been present on the stage at the time, the accused. Thank you, counsel. The prosecution's position is clear. So, bring forth your witnesses now. Bailiff, show the witnesses in. The witnesses whose proximity to the incident on the day in question will clarify the truth unequivocally. How can I say unequivocally? The non-love of the words. Oh, it's Gina! Gina's great. Love Gina. One of my favourite characters. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court to hear. My name is Balthazar Lude. I am the impressor. Can I safe officer, but not that, impresario of all the hot air balloons in vicinity of the experimental stage. My name is Wilhelm Gottschalk Sigismund Ormstein. I've come to the great exhibition all the way from my home in Bohemia. I'm very rich. Inspector Gina Lestrade, Scotland Yard. I'm a good detective, even though I like showing degrees. I was on security duty at the exhibition, and I got to go up in one of their balloons. It was amazing. Gina. Again. Of course it was going to be Gina. The only person you would expect would be Gregson. But she did mention that she'd seen the disaster from up in a balloon actually, didn't she? And she clearly loved every minute of it. There were 3 balloons flying near the public experimentation stage when the incident occurred. Two of these witnesses were in one of such balloons at the time and saw the events unfold from the skies above. You make it sound like they were in the clouds. It was only at an altitude of circa 60 feet, very low. Well, you can't see nothing if you fly too high, can you? 60 feet, about 18 meters then. 2 meters. Oh, that's not actually that high, actually, now that I think about it. Because I think at one point we ended up measuring my room, and it's like, from like there, from like the door to here, it's like 3.7 meters or something like that. So, if we just use the length of my room, like 5 more times, that is not actually that high. No, 5 more times. 6 more times. 6 more times. Can't do maths. Thank you for your introductions. Now, you'll give your formal testimony for the court. Kindly describe exactly what you witnessed, especially those of you who had a vantage point above the stage. Let me look at the court record first for our evidence. So we have the Great Exhibition newspaper, the one where it said, not Kazuma. Why do I think Kazuma? Where Barok was attacked. And then the experiment sketch. Again, we have 2 balloons that were, above in the sky, so they could see this. This was the machine. They could see this clearly, and then that was the crystal tower there. And then we have this mysterious contraption that we found at the. Now that I look at it, it looks like a crossbow, right? It looks like a crossbow, right? I'm not joking here. It actually looks like a crossbow. So, yeah. And then I've got this piece of green cloth. Again, I didn't mention that I didn't mention last stream that the only person that we know to wear green cloth, in this case, I think is Gina. Wait, does any of the other witnesses wear green, actually? People. We have Gina, and then it looks like in this photo that Esmeralda wears green, that her hat looks slightly green, but I think when we met her it was actually more blue. So, and Gregson wears green, but it's not the same green. It's not it's like not as close to the green cloth as Gina's outfit is. I mean, this cloth is a canvas-like material backed with rubber, so it's not gonna be closed anyways. So I assume it was maybe off one of the hot air balloons, maybe. And then we've got the photo of the dead body. When he smashed into the crystal tower. And I've got the autopsy report of Odie Asman. Hemorrhage of a wound. Cause of death, hemorrhage of a wound to the chest that pierced the heart, inflicted by a sharp implement. Broken vertebrae, most likely resulting from the impact after a sudden fall from a considerable height. I mean, he was shot and smashed into the crystal tower. So obviously he's gonna have some sort of injury. And then got the screwdriver that belonged to Hairbrain. Yeah, Hairbrain. I keep forgetting his name is Hairbrain. Yeah, this was his... Yeah, Ace Albert. This was his... whatever he called it. This is his flat-headed screwdriver. I didn't mean to do that. Why is the autoplay on? Okay, it is witness testimony time. Witness testimony. It was an incident terribly. I am only grateful that my balloons were not damaged. There's this huge bang from the stage, and then the next second, another bang in the sky beside us. Wait, what? And from amid the smoke, a cage appeared out of nowhere. The cage, it fell from the sky like some stone and crashed into the crystal tower. I didn't get a good look inside the cage, but no one went near it after it crashed into the tower. A most extraordinary collective account, I will say. And could I just clarify something? There's a detail in the witness's testimony that I've not heard any mention of until now. Specifically, that there were 2 explosions. More precisely, 2 explosions in 2 separate places, yeah. Yeah, Gina mentioned that, didn't you? When the demonstration began, the balloon carrying the 2 witnesses was around. Hey, there were other balloons in the air nearby at the time carrying other passengers as well, to be clear. Then, as power was supplied to the machine for the demonstration, the first explosion occurred. The so-called birdcage that contained the victim disappeared from the stage, and a moment later, the second explosion occurred directly adjacent to the balloon carrying the witnesses. Yeah, Gina just said that she heard 2 bangs. The birdcage appeared at the site of the explosion, subsequently to plummet down into the crystal tower. I was very surprised. Suddenly a cage appeared before my eyes. What did he say? A cage appeared before my eyes with a person inside. The blast was so hot I didn't want to miss a thing, so I kept my eyes wide. I love these little animations, they're so cute. I still have lots of money. Precisely. He was this curious infant. I'm told he's a young noble of Bohemian royalty. Apparently, he disguised himself in order to steal unnoticed into the great exhibition. Yeah, I'm here in London on a sightseeing trip with my elementary school. We'll have the benefit of a child's point of view in the testimony. Do you really need that? When I remove my mask, this is what I look like. Oh yes, I see, a delightful face of shock. Yeah, everybody said so. Great disguise then. The point is, the testimony of these witnesses further substantiates the facts for the court. Namely, that despite the ending in an explosion, instantaneous kinesis was successfully demonstrated. And furthermore, that until the arrival of the police, no one approached the crystal tower where the victim fell. Therefore, only the accused who was with Mr. Asman on the stage could possibly have committed the murder. Yeah, thank you, counsel. The prosecution's view on the matter are quite clear. So, the defense's cross-examination now, please. Yes, my lord. Okay, first of all, I think the one must say, first of all. And second of all, let's go to what Gina said about the 2 banks. Because she actually kind of brought up that there was 2 explosions. Yeah. Okay, come on, Gina.
Hold it!
So you actually saw the accident happen from up in the air? Yeah. Ain't amazing what a detective gets to do, eh? I'm telling you, Ado, being a lawyer is a mug game. We're gonna join the force and we can go fighting together. You know me so well. Yeah, well, anyway. Could you tell us exactly what you saw, do you think? everything. We saw everything because we were up above it all. That dodgy cove climbing into that cage, and that dodgy professor pulling all them levers. And that's when it happened. That's when there was just that That's when there was that massive bang and the cage disappeared, just like that. You are describing the moment the subject's body was decomposed by the electricity, I believe. My brain, not braining today. I didn't know what to make of it, but then there was another bang, right in the air. I looked around and there was a huge great fireball right next to us in the sky. And there was nothing there before. Psssttt, what's going on? Master Gods, does your memory of the day differ? My teacher at elementary school said that when you meet someone for the first time, you should always use their full name. Yes. What was it again? Wilhelm Gottsreich, Sigismund Augstein. Just the 4 names then? The point is, you have something to say. Something to add in response to Detective Journalist Stray's last remark, perhaps? Oi, get it right, Otto. It's Inspector Lestrade. Does everyone have a problem with how I address them at the moment? Yeah, when you're cool. That is not what I saw. Oh. Yeah. There was a second explosion and it was right beside our balloon. That is true. But I'm sure, which is why I said in it, 1 minute there was nothing there, then next there was a massive explosion. My teacher at elementary school said that someone else is speaking. If you are rude enough to interrupt, you'll have the most awful life imaginable. Are all Bohemians brought up to be so full of joy? Where did his other balloon go? How many balloons? At this stage says infinite balloons. Just before the second explosion happened next to our balloon, I clearly witnessed a green balloon flying in the sky. A green balloon? You what? I never saw nothing like that. Well, I did. I saw it, and you can't say I didn't. I will complain to the council. I will cry and scream. My testimony is the truth. I am Bohemian Prince. You cannot say it's a lie. That's not allowed. Playing the bleeding royalty card, are you? Typical. Says he often likes to remind people she works for Her Majesty's Police. Yeah, Gina! You can't say shit. In that case, young man, I must ask you to amend your formal testimony. In the interests of cordial national relations between Great Britain and Bohemia. It was not the sky that exploded, it was a green balloon that was next to us at the time. Okay, that is... Objection! Now, made a lie, not a lie, but contradiction. Mr. Loon, in your testimony, you said that all 3 of the balloons you had operating at the time were undamaged. See, that is correct. If they had been caught in the explosions, it would have been terrible. I wonder if you might know what this is. I think it may be, part of a balloon. A burnt piece of the fabric of the envelope. Sorry, the envelope? Pardon. That is a large round part of the balloon which becomes filled with hot air. It is made from very thick fabric lined with rubber. You do not want it to rip when you are in the sky. Just as I thought. The piece of cloth was found near the experimentation stage. In other words, as Master Gotts testified, a green balloon did indeed explode that day. Oh shit! I did not realize that. Didn't realize that my camera froze that awkwardly. If all the balloons in the sky above the experimentation stage belong to you, Mr. Loon, then your statement that they were all undamaged clearly contradicts the evidence. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read all the Ace Attorney lines through my game capture that's on OBS. If a balloon exploded that day, why didn't the man say so? Maybe everybody on board is killed. Oh no, haven't you spent 10 whole pounds for the experience? How awful. Seems to me like those things crash 50 times anyway. The instantaneous kinesis did occur, but after the explosion on the stage, the point of materialization shifted to a location occupied by a balloon, causing the balloon to explode. Yeah, eminently plausible. An unfortunate traffic accident, as it were, but it changes nothing about the pertinent facts. This I cannot accept. Why not, Mr. Loon? You're suggesting that I'm a liar. Wait, what's his full name? Because I swear, if it's another pun name. Because I swear. Bal. Bal is like a name? Loon. Balloon. Bal being a nickname for Balthazar. Yeah, I hope you're doing well. Dropping a local, I play some Fortnite. Well, welcome on in, Kagan. Welcome on in. I hope your Fortnite game goes well. Hope your game goes well. How you doing? And yes, I am doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. I just realised that his full name, Bohemian Boy, doesn't even put in his full name into the call record. So, yeah. You're suggesting that I'm a liar. That person's died in a balloon incident. There's no need to get fired up, Mr. Loon. The victim was a sole fatality that day. That's right, and I prove it. Balthazar Loon is now a liar. There's no such balloon in the sky. It is not possible. You're saying it's impossible? Why? Thanks, working on leveling my pass. I'm well, thanks. Ooh. Battle pass grind set, I see. Well, I hope your battle pass grind goes well. Hope it goes well. This caught us more important matters to discuss than the number of balloons that were operating that day.
Objection!
Yeah, I've been stuck inside a lot of quests to do most. Not gonna lie, that was kind of me when I used to play Fortnite like years ago. We're talking 2018, 2019. I used to just slack off doing the quests. I mean, I didn't have the proper battle pass. I had like the free kind of version or whatever it was. But yeah, I just used to slack off doing the quests and just do whatever. But we can't ignore the fact that nobody appears to have known anything about this other balloon until now. My lord. The defense calls for further testimony from Mr. Loon. I concur. There's clearly more to the truth here than meets the eye. It's imperative that we clear up the issue of this phantom balloon, I feel. Witness, you will give supplementary testimony about the balloons you operated at the exhibition. Glad to see you, my lords. Okay, we're getting another testimony about his balloons. As I said, Balthazar Loon is no liar. Liar? Of course he's not a lawyer. Every balloon I had in the sky landed safely. All three of my balloons were carrying passengers. If they fell to the ground in an explosion, what a catastrophe. But you can't get away from the fact that burnt up a bit of cloth was found at the scene, can you? The coppers at the yard reckoned it was probably some debris thrown from the explosion on the stage. This stupid old ragazzo is mistaken. My balloons have the red and blue zigzag stripes anyway. Okay, so it's not one of his balloons that exploded, it was someone else's. Okay. Wait, what did I accidentally scroll through what the judge said? So you're asserting that the balloon this child saw was not one belonging to you? See, exactamente. If he even saw a balloon in the first place. I'm not understand of it. It is very bad for business. I have a good mind to sue the land of Bohemia. If you attack us, we will fight back. It will be a war. All out war. This child just keeps losing his balloons. What happened to all out war? Yeah! And you just bought another balloon off him like it was nothing. Mr. Loon certainly doesn't appear to be lying. But that doesn't change the fact that the testimony and evidence are contradictory here. If the defense is unable to find fault with the witness's statements, the court must consider them truth. Well, hold on there. Let us have our cross-examination, please, Barok. I'm calling him his first name now. Barok von Zieks. Chill the fuck out. Think long and hard on that, my learned friend. The situation has clearly changed now. I have to get to the bottom of what happened here, no matter what it takes. Counsel, you may now cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examination time. Okay, first. Saving time. Save. I think. Let's go to that last statement. If I can click through them. Okay, Gina, I love you, but please speed up what you're saying.
Hold it!
You mean the colour is wrong? See signal. I do not have any green balloons in my warehouse. And yet a piece of green cloth was found at the scene. That is unmistakably from a balloon. Well, I do not know how that can be. And do we know if he was like the only one signing out the balloons? Or like the main guy signing out the balloons? For the sake of argument, let's say that a green balloon did explode above the stage. You couldn't therefore conclude that it happened on the day in question. Why not? There have been recreational balloon flights over Hyde Park operating from before the Great Exhibition. Okay, that's fair enough, fine, yeah. What could have exploded on some earlier day? Unfortunate, as I'm sure you'd agree. You believe it may have been from some earlier balloon accident that predates the exhibition? But wait, and when they were setting up the what's his name? Hairbrain's machine, wouldn't they have attempted to clean all the debris from the stage before setting it up? See, exactamente. As the signal says, it is not from one of my balloons. Clearly this little ragazzo from Bohemia is mistaken about what he saw.
Excuse me!
No. Okay, the child looks pretty pissed off. Is something wrong, Master Gotts? Yes, Master. Wilhelm Gottsreich Sigismund Armstein. That's on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, something is very wrong. I know what I saw. There was a green balloon here. I swear all over Bohemia. You can speak as much bad language as you like, but it changes nothing. If you do not have evidence for that, then I must tell your parents to punish you, eh? Perhaps we'll let the judge decide when it comes to punishments. Evidence? What is evidence? I'm gonna check this. Discordy ping. Okay, there we go. To give a simple example, young man. A photograph, for instance. Some tangible proof of what you claim. Well, why didn't you say so sooner? I have the photograph here. God gracious. What? I had not been up in a balloon for a little while, so I was very excited. So I took lots and lots of photographs of the Crystal Tower, of the Bohemian exhibit, of the streets of London, of the hot eel cellar, the balloon, and the instantaneous faces experiment. Did you take a picture of that? Yeah, one picture. Really? You did take one? Again, lots of Discord things apparently. But all I wanted was a ride in the balloon. I was not interested in boring experiments. Never mind mind that, can you show us that photograph? Of course, and then you'll see. You'll see that I am not lying. That I really did see a green balloon. We can't tell. We can't tell. It's a black and white photograph. Well, I see you're all too shocked to speak. Yeah, I think shocked is indeed the word, young man. Yeah, perhaps you cannot see that it was a green balloon from this photograph, but that's not my fault. That is the fault of the stupid person who made the camera. That is one very bohemian-sounding crime. Very well, the court will accept this photograph as evidence. Okay, I'm gonna have a quick look. I'm gonna have a quick extra look at the photograph. So, oh yeah, being shot at a balloon. Yeah, and of course that literally you would have assumed that would have made it, you know, explode or something. Like here, that shut up and would have hit the balloon definitely. And that obviously came from here, from the experimentation stage. And there's Hairbrain right there, there's Hairbrain. And there's the victim, I cannot remember what it's called, but the victim is there. But yeah. It's not my fault, it's the fault of the person who made the camera. Well, never mind. I'm sure you have plenty of wonderful sepia memories to take home with you. Sepia, not hot black and white. I couldn't remember the thing. In any case, when exactly did you take that photograph? Well, it was on the day of the big explosion. You don't say. When I pressed the shutter release, there was this very loud bang. And a hot wind rushed over my face. That means this photograph was taken a split second before the explosion occurred. Well, if you ask me, this black and white photograph changes nothing. I cannot give the flying fig. Lovely language you've picked up. As I thought, Mr. Loon's testimony just doesn't quite add up. The young Bohemian boy claims to have seen another fourth balloon, but Mr. Loon vehemently denies the possibility. And it's hard to imagine the man in charge could be mistaken about the number that are in the air. Still, this inconsistency must tell us something, I'm sure. We're carrying passengers. Huh. But this one wasn't.
Objection!
Unfortunately, the photograph Master Gots took can't tell us the colour of the balloon. But it can tell us something else. Something crucially important. Well, it shows that the pictured balloon wasn't carrying any passengers. Oh my goodness, you're right. But surely all the balloons would have been carrying passengers. There'd be no sense in it otherwise. See, they are for pleasure for seeing the view. My balloons only fly with passengers. Which tells us that the pictured balloon isn't one of them. So when the incident occurred that day, there was a fourth balloon in the skies above the experimentation stage. The mysterious green balloon. Okay. I know nothing. Yes. I can only tell you one thing. If the balloon was not carrying passengers, then it was not one of mine. Okay.
Objection!
There are illegal tradesmen everywhere you care to look. Clearly, one such entrepreneur, keep forgetting how to say that word, decided to capitalize on the opportunity presented by the Great Exhibition. I managed to operate balloon flights on Mr. Loon's patch without him realizing. See, the competition, trying to steal my profits. I did not notice because of the experiment that went wrong on the stage. This fourth balloon exploded at the very same moment Mr. Asman was being to the stage below. Right, so them scraps that fell to the ground after, and left them scorch marks. They didn't come from the state at all. It was bits of balloon raining over. Because no one was in it, it didn't get no attention. A mysterious fourth balloon carrying no passengers, silently floating over the experimentation stage. This photograph shows us nothing more. A stray balloon carrying no one and operated by some rogue trader clearly has nothing to do with the case. Its relevance does elude me, I must say. The court has seen sufficient evidence and heard ample testimony already. The prosecution calls for this trial to be concluded. Really? Have we really got to the truth yet? No, I can't let this opportunity slip away. The jury's minds are made up, and not in our favour. What else can this photograph tell us? Is there nothing we can learn from it? There's more.
Objection!
Sure. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, wait. Please don't give us your decisions yet. The photograph from Master Gods may well be hiding one more vital clue. What's that? A vital clue?
Objection!
We're well past the point of more possibilities. It's time for definitives now. So tell the court, what exactly does this alleged clue in the photograph prove? Because of the explosion, that's what we pointed out earlier. We can reasonably assume that the pictured balloon was destroyed in the searing heat of the explosion. Yeah, that's right, yeah. It was not my fault. There's gonna be so many balloons on the ceiling of the courtroom, I'm gonna tell you. Evidently, because the bird cage from the kinesis machine materialized in the sky where it had been flying. And the balloon being filled with flammable hydrogen instantly and explosively ignited. No, that's not what happened. What? It would appear that this photograph requires closer examination. Counsel for the defense, you will highlight the location of this alleged clue in the photograph for the court. Of course, my lord. If you look closely, it is plain enough to see, and what's shown is linked to another piece of evidence we have, in a way that leads to an unbelievable conclusion. The clue that heavily suggests the reason the balloon exploded is it was this that we pointed out earlier.
Take that!
The timing of this photograph can only be described as miraculous. If you look, you'll notice there's a bright white line that appears to point directly at the balloon. Most likely a rare light caught incidentally on the film. I'm afraid I can see nothing of the sort. If you look within a magnifying glass, my lord, it becomes clear what the nature of this bright light really is. Yeah, sure. Goodness, what is that? Undeniably some flash of light, yeah. Oh golly, do you think it might be lightning? But it couldn't have been a finer day. I believe we may be looking at fire. A ball of fire heading straight to the balloon, like an arrow. Indeed, even to my aging eyes it would appear to be a flame of sorts. My word, are you suggesting this flame struck the hydrogen gas that filled the balloon? That's absurd. The balloon would have been 60 feet above the ground at the time. No flame could possibly have reached the height. Actually, it's my opinion that a particular piece of evidence found at the scene reveals how that is exactly what did happen. What evidence? If such evidence exists, counsel, then for goodness sake present it, man. Which evidence explains this mysterious streak of flame that appears to be headed directly for the balloon? This. Let's examine it. This. I did mention before that it looks like a crossbow. Ah, there's some sort of lever here. What is this? It's a crossbow. It looks like a cross between a bow and a gun. I think it's probably used for the same thing too. Crossbow, yeah.
Take that!
We do. This was found hidden at the foot of a small ornamental tree near the scene. Good lord, is that a crossbow? An arrow dipped in oil and satellite could have been shot from this weapon, sending a flaming arrow straight into the hydrogen-filled balloon. Are you suggesting that crossbow was used to deliberately? Blimey, you're right. That strip of light in the photo looks just like an arrow, doesn't it? Then, the explosion of the balloon, it was very likely the result of a flaming arrow from this crossbow igniting the hydrogen gas inside it. Barok just is like, I can't believe this. Oh my god. Order. Council, this is an extraordinary supposition. If the aim was to cause the balloon to explode, the shooter could have used a gun, of course. However, there's an obvious reason why that would have been out of the question. The noise of the discharge? Of course. That's right. By using a crossbow, the projectile could be fired at the balloon silently. Well, yeah, if someone had shot a gun in the exhibition grounds, it would have caused a real panic. But with the big explosion, there was a very big panic anyway, no? I don't like this. I should be pleased to have found a plausible new explanation for all this, but something feels wrong.
Objection!
Do you understand the implications of what you're saying, my Nepalese friend? If a flaming arrow did indeed hit the balloon, then obviously it would have exploded. And if the birdcage appeared from the cloud of smoke that ensued... What? Wait a minute. What are you really saying here? I don't get it. Was the birdcage beamed up into the sky after all, or what? My goodness me. Now I understand. That's what that sinking feeling is about. I think there's a good chance that the birdcage was actually concealed inside the balloon all along. What? Did I just hear that correctly, Council? There's no going back now. The horse has bolted. Let's assume, as I said, that the birdcage was hidden inside the green balloon from the start. On stage, when the experiment was started, the birdcage in the instantaneous kinesis machine disappeared in a cloud of smoke. At that moment, the flaming arrow was fired from the ground, causing the green balloon to explode and drawing the attention of the spectators to the sky above their heads. From amid the smoke, the hidden birdcage then appeared to fall down and crash into the crystal tower. I think you'll all agree it's entirely plausible that what I've just described is the real truth behind the miraculous experiment carried out that day. Good grief.
Objection!
This is ludicrous. What you've described is no science experiment. It's child's play. A contemptible display of stage magic. Both Mr. Sholmes and Arrow said that the experiment was a scientific impossibility. In which case, this is the only way to explain... What did he say? What's the message he said? Excellent, skip it. Explained what happened that day. And in any case, the victim's body was found inside the birdcage in the crystal tower. If the instantaneous cases didn't take place, how do you explain that? If I may put in a word, as a man of magic myself, such apparent discrepancies can easily be explained by some simple deception. Join number 3! All that would be needed is a doppelganger, someone who looked very similar to the victim, Mr. Asmund, and having this other man appear on stage for the show as a body double. Yes, of course. So in fact, Mr. Asmund must have been inside the birdcage that was concealed inside the balloon right from the start.
Objection!
That balloon would have been filled with hydrogen. Anything hidden inside it would have been scattered to the front wings when it exploded. No one would ever have embarked on such a risky venture. Not necessarily. The explosive force of the balloon gas would very much depend upon the mixture ratio. During number 4, Fine balloons are rarely filled with pure hydrogen, but a mixture of other gases such as helium as well, which, you know, in the modern day, most people think of the gas that most people think of that is used to fill balloons is helium. When you think of, you know, most people think, oh, you fill balloons with helium. When I think it's probably most likely a mixture of gases, like during the Ferrocene. But yeah, helium on its own doesn't explode, but by controlling the gas mixture ratio, the explosive force can be altered. The mixture ratio? Obviously, the victim's body would have suffered some burns, and that would be unavoidable. But not to such an extent as to render this whole scene charade impossible. Wait, I'm gonna look it up. Helium. Okay, helium is used mainly now. Helium and hydrogen can both be used. So yeah, and I think in this case it's just a mixture of both helium and hydrogen, basically. So everything that happened can be explained logically and scientifically. The explosion that engulfed the stage at the start of the experiment was no accident. It was all part of an elaborate deception to make it appear that instantaneous kinesis had occurred. Well, goodness me. And if you accept that this is what happened, it means that the victim, Mr. Asman, was never present on the public experimentation stage to begin with. In short, he could have been killed by the defendant, who was on the stage in full view the entire time. Yeah, Barok just looks so defeated. This will be very hard for the prosecution to counter. Lord Van Zieks can't credibly maintain that Professor Harebrained is a suspect now. Hold it. Okay. Mr. Naruhodo, I appreciate your efforts. Thank you. Professor? We can stop me now. You can stop now. Just keep your mouth shut, please. Sorry? What's all this about, Mr. Harebrained? What? I, Halbert Harebrained, hereby confess that it was me who stabbed Mr. Odie Asman. Yeah, it was me, with my faithful friend and partner, Andrew the Screwdriver. That was his name. That was the Screwdriver's name. What are you doing? Yeah, what the bloody hell are you doing, man? Order! Defendant, explain the sudden confession. Professor Harebrained, what are you talking about? Add in 5 minutes, guys. Add in 5 minutes. It's what I've said all along. I must protect my hypothesis and my precious machine. You stand there and claim it was all a trick? All an elaborate prank? But where's your proof? No, you'd have to examine the machine if you wanted to prove it. But then it would all be all over. My beautiful hypothesis would be made bare. I mean, the indignity of it. It's clear that you drew the plans for the experiment, but you didn't actually build it. It's quite conceivable that you were duped, Professor. If you'll let me, I can prove. Barok! Yes? I'll cooperate. I'll do whatever you say. I swear it. So please. Ensure the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act is adhered to and protect my creation. Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hallowed chalice at this critical juncture. Here's to my learned Nipponese friend. What? And his upcoming attempt to clarify the defense's position in the light of the accused's confession. Do you intend to firmly assert that the experiment was nothing more than a conjuring trick? Because the moment you do, the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act that protects the professor's invention will cease to apply. The prosecution will then demand a rigorous examination of the machinery involved in order to establish the truth. However, if you acknowledge that the machine is genuine and instrumental in the victim's murder, any chance of investigating will be crushed, and the confidentiality of the professor's hypothesis preserved. Well, counsel, what is the defense's official position on this matter? What Professor Hairbrain, my client, actually asked of me was to prove that the explosion on stage was an accident and protect the secrecy of his hypothesis. But there's no way to do that without implying the professor's guilt. Do I protect my client's life by asserting his innocence, or do I uphold my client's request but see him condemned? Either way, I can't avoid betraying his trust. You've been silent long enough. Isn't talking your trade, my learned friend? Or has all knowledge of English escaped your confused Nipponese mind? Okay, no, he's just thinking. Okay, chill the fuck out, Barok. Mr. Naruhodo, there's no escape here. I have to make a choice, but it's an impossible one. I have to give up on something, for what? The defense asserts that the defendant's instantaneous kinesis machine was in fact. I think the best course of action is to say it's a conjuring trick, because this will allow for a proper investigation of it. Because even though Hairbrain did ask us to keep the confidentiality and keep his hypothesis a secret, right now I think his innocence is more important than the confidentiality of a hypothesis. So, yeah. No, I can't say it. My client places faith in me. I can't just let him down. What must I give up on? It's not the question you have to ask yourself here. It's what can I protect? Psssttt! Hello again, Mr. Naruhodo. It's been far too long. Psssttt-san! But what are you... Hiya! First Psssttt take down in 6 months. There'll be time to talk later, Mr. Naruhodo. For now, we must concentrate on the task at hand. Which is working out not what I have to give up on, but what I can protect. Professor Hairbrain. Yes? Yesterday you told me that science is the pursuit of truth. Aristotle soon, by the way, Aristotle soon. But my job is to pursue the truth too. Yeah, of course. Personally, I believe he didn't stab Mr. Asmund. I think you've come to realize something yourself too, haven't you? The experiment and the machine you built with the victim are questionable. The truth behind it is that we must both pursue now. How much wine does this man waste? Oh my god. So you finally opened your eyes. What? And as for you, Albert, you can't ignore this any longer. Having heard my learned friend's assertion, don't you have something to say? Barok. Blood von Zieks. Gosh, I thought I heard him speak that way before. I'm so glad. Okay, Addison progress. I'm so glad that Psssttt is back. She is one of my favourite characters. I love her. I love Psssttt. She's great. I need a drink before we actually get back into the case. Right after the ad is ended. Oh yeah, so I looked at my YouTube I was looking at my YouTube like analytics, just I was kind of bored now. I was like, I'm gonna look at my YouTube analytics. One of my videos has 16,000 views. I'm gonna check it now because I haven't checked it since like this morning. It now has 17,000 views. It has 17,795 views as of right now, which is crazy. Crazy. Anyways, welcome back. Anyways, welcome back, guys, from the ad. Welcome back. In truth, there is one thing. Something I've remembered that's of relevance. What? The other day it happened, just before I began the experiment, I saw a man near the stage. A man holding that crossbow. I beg your pardon. I have to clean up your nose. What'd you say? Who's your hair? Professor, did the man have any distinguishing features? What did he look like? Taller than me and thinner than me, with straight hair, straighter and whiter than mine. Let me see, one less lens than me too. A monocle, a rather stylish black monocle. But one thing in particular will help to positively identify the man. You see, I know him very well. After all, he's the engineer who built my invention. What? He built the machine? That's right. Mr. Asman introduced him to me a year ago. He's a man by the name of Enoch Drebber. Enoch Drebber? Does his name mean something? Members of the jury seem flustered. Now name any scientist wishes to hear. The man's an abomination. Now name any conjurer wishes to hear either. Who on earth is it? I'm afraid this isn't the first tale of this nature that I've heard in scientific circles in connection with that name. There's talk of other flamboyant experiments that turn out to be nothing but stage trickery in the end. Obviously, the rascal is after the government's research grant money. When magicians are in need of money, I have heard of them resorting to these underhand tactics. Some acquaintances of mine with experiences of such things have mentioned Enoch Drebber's name before. The man is both an engineer and a magician. Yeah, we're dealing with an unparalleled confidence trickster here. That's Enoch Drebber for you. Ooh. Oh, the turntables. So it's true then. My invention, my great machine, it was just a grand illusion. Considering what we've just heard about Mr. Drebber's character, I'm sorry to say that sounds increasingly likely. Even though no one else believed it, I wanted to believe that machine would function exactly as my hypothesis predicted. Which is why you were so opposed to it being investigated, I presume. I knew that if the machine was examined in detail, its construction would give away my hypothesis. Obviously, I didn't want that to happen. But at the same time, I knew that if it was found to be nothing more than a trick, than a work of deception, then everything I'd worked towards, all my research, all my dreams, my whole life would be over. I was terrified at the prospect. So you really had no idea then, you did you? About the true nature of the machine that was built, and the true nature of Mr. Drebber. I never questioned anything. I didn't want to question it. It's entirely possible that Mr. Asman and Mr. Drebber were working together to use you as a means of fraudulently acquiring the research grant money. It's possible, yeah. When I announced my invention to the crowds that day, it was the finest moment of my career. I pulled all the levers and turned all the dials in exactly the way Mr. Drebber had described. When the smoke suddenly started billowing out, I panicked. I didn't know what was happening. feel bad for him. But I really don't know how the whole illusion was made to work. I don't know anything anymore. Yeah, I feel bad for the guy. Let me confirm one final point with you, Professor. Do you now consent to the prosecution submitting the necessary paperwork to release your invention from the protection afforded by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act? Yes, please go ahead. I'm very sorry. It would appear that we shall have to suspend proceedings for the remainder of the day now. Lord von Zieks? My lord? The court has newly been made aware of another party whose involvement in this matter is critical. Yes, Mr. Drebber. Gather information about the man. If possible, I should like him served with a subpoena. With pleasure, my lord. Now, counsel for the defense. Yes, my lord. When we reconvene, I shall be looking for one thing and one thing alone from you. Evidence that the defendant is innocent of the crime for which he presently stands accused. I understand. Good. In that case, this court is adjourned until tomorrow morning. Okay. Okay. So that is the end. That should be the end of this part, I think. Oh wait, no. We're in the defendant's antechamber. Is this guy good? Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? I'm so sorry. I was wrong. You were right. I tricked you. You trusted me. I dragged you into my mess. Oh, how did it ever come to this? I'm so sorry. Did you really have no idea, Professor, about what Mr. Drebber was really up to? I mean, about what he was really constructing? Naturally, that machine was the embodiment of my hypothesis of all my hopes and dreams. I have complete faith in it. Alright, in that case, I won't say anymore. Now, sadly the murder accusation against you still stands, so we must do as much investigation as we can before the trial resumes tomorrow. Well, thank you for doing so much for me. And she's back! I'm so sorry for arriving late this morning, Mr. Naruhodo. Have I been late? Didn't you receive my postcard? I wanted to let you know when I'd arrived. Postcard? What postcard? I had it from you, Rino, so it would be a surprise. Well, did it work? I was surprised, alright. Especially when she threw me to the ground. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. I was just so happy to see you again that it sort of slipped out. Maybe we could stick to more traditional displays of emotion in the future. Susie's train was late into London Victoria this morning, you see. But we made the coachman really whip the horses hard so she didn't miss the whole trial. I was watching from the gallery for a while, but in the end, I'm afraid I couldn't contain myself. Well, I'm glad you did. Oh? Having you on my side in court gives me strength I need to win. So, I'm delighted to see you, back in London. Oh, you're too kind, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm delighted to be here. I hope I can continue to be of service to you. Of course. So, what's brought you back? Did Professor Mikitoba not protest? Let's save all that conversation for when we're back at home, shall we? You know, I made one of my most special blends ever for this special occasion. Oh, Iris, how wonderful. I can't wait. Susato-san was back in London. It's hard to describe how happy that made me feel at that time, but despite my elation, our tale was about to take yet another extraordinary turn. To be continued. Okay, we're going to try and get through as much of this investigation as we can, hopefully through all of it. Monday's investigation, the investigation we did on Monday, was very long, so we'll see. We'll see how much we get through it. It's quite a long, it's a decently like a long investigation, so we'll see. Oh, this room. It's been too long. It hasn't changed in the slightest though. And it's been some 6 months, hasn't it? That's a long time for things to stay so familiar. I didn't know when you might return, and I wanted everything to be as you'd left it. But it has been some 6 months. It's true. So, is your father alright, Susie? What happened? My father? Yeah, Professor Mikatoba. I mean, it was half a year ago, but that's why he went back to Japan. Because of the telegram he received saying he'd fallen ill with a very high fever for some unknown reason. That's right. So I was surprised to learn you'd be coming back so soon. Surprised, but happy. What is it, Psssttt? I think I wrote about it in my letter to you. That it was all a trick. My father is in fine health, and I'm obviously very relieved about that. Well, we're all delighted to have you back. It was quite by accident that I've been able to return to Europe, actually. It's because of a very grand conference called the International Forensic Science Symposium. The International Forensic Science. That's the same symposium Lord Strongheart mentioned. Anyway, I've arrived safe and sound, and all that matters is that I'm here now. After all, I haven't yet fulfilled my promise to you, Iris. Oh. You must tell us everything that happened while you were back in Japan. Yes, of course, I shall. And there's one other thing. Something you wrote in your letter that particularly grabbed my attention. About, you know who. About Kazuma. I know. I'll tell you all that I can. First, shuttle examination, because that's one of the achievements. Thinking back, that spade's been in here since we first moved in, hasn't it? I'm sure I've told you about it before, Mr. Naruto. It's not a spade, it's a shovel. No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade. No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel. Great spade shovel war rages on. And we also have that ladder that we can't. Oh, there's Iris! I love Iris. It's great. I love all the characters in this game. Okay, back in Britain. When I first arrived back in Japan, I really thought I'd never be allowed to return to Britain. But curiously, after that awful trial at the Supreme Court, Father's mood changed entirely. The awful trial? Oh yes. For the murder of Giselle Brett. Ooh, you just did a man then, didn't you, Susie? Oh, well, yeah. Since women are forbidden in the courtroom, I had no choice. Wow, amazing! I wish I'd seen it. Don't you, Rina? Yeah, I suppose so. I want to play at being a lawyer now. I could wear a false mustache, maybe. I don't think any mustache should hide the fact that you're just 10 years old, Iris. Yeah, real. There's something else I've been wanting to ask you, Mr. Psssttt. It's about the real reason why Professor Mikatoba sent you back to Japan. You said in your letter it was something to do with that convict's loot we found in Mr. Natsume's lodgings. That's right, the very large dog collar we found with the bee emblem on it. It seems Mr. Natsume included a drawing of the collar in the report he submitted about his time in Britain. And he said that when Father saw the report, he turned his white as a sheep. Why would that be then? Father came to Britain himself, of course, to study. It was some time ago now, but he stayed for 6 years. I can only imagine that something must have happened during that time. But if he refuses to tell me what it was, then I intend to find the answers myself. And I've decided that I, for one, won't keep any more secrets. Oh, Susie. That's a very large, meaningful look. Psssttt sounds giving Iris there. Forensic Science Symposium. Lord Strongheart mentioned something about that symposium too. I think he said that investigative authorities from 40 different countries would attend. Yeah, and from Japan, my father and Jikoku have been invited. It's something of an honor, I believe. Well, Professor Mikatoba is the leading expert in forensic medicine in our country, after all. But who's the other person you mentioned? A judge, did you say? Yeah, His Excellency, Judge Sashiro Jigoku. You've met him, Mr. Naruto. Last year, the Supreme Court. You can't possibly have forgotten. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting the Shishiro's name. The terrible trial of yours, but you were accused of murder. Oh yeah, I tried to think of that as a positive turning point in my life these days. Well, it was Judge Jikoku who presided at that trial. If I'm perfectly honest, I'd be happy to never to see that man's face again in my life. Oh well, anyway, as Father was invited to the symposium, he agreed to me returning to Britain. He won't actually arrive until next month, but well, I couldn't wait. So I pleaded with him, and in the end, he agreed to me going on ahead. Yeah, about the symposium. It seems as though Lord Strongheart has put in an awful lot of work to make it happen. It's obviously very important. I believe it is, yes. As I understand it, Lord Strongheart organised the entire event himself. I think he's hoping that by achieving exceptional results, he'll get the job of Attorney General, the most senior position in the British justice system. He's hoping to use his power to create the world's finest police institution. That's what Father said anyway. Apparently it's Lord Strongheart's lifelong ambition. Does Professor Mikatoba know Lord Strongheart personally then, I wonder? Actually, Lord Strongheart gave me a long speech all about this very subject only yesterday. But I sort of lost the will to live early on and didn't really listen to much of it. How trying for you. Giselle Brat. She keeps cropping up in these cases, doesn't she? Giselle Brat. The woman whose unforgivable actions ended in me being wrongly accused of a crime I didn't commit. The murder of Dr. John H. Wilson. Yeah, Giselle Brat. That's a name I won't forget for as long as I live. The extraordinary thing is though, it seems it's a name we should all forget. Sorry? Since the incident, our government's intelligence services have been investigating Miss Brat. But it turns out that an English woman by the name of Giselle Brat didn't actually exist. Didn't exist? But how can that be? It was a pseudonym. Her real name was Shin, and she wasn't a visiting student either. That was a front. A front? Who on earth was she then? Miss A. Shin. Her name is literally all our intelligence services have been able to ascertain about her. Nobody knows why, or even how she came to be in Japan. It's a complete mystery. Maybe she was a stowaway like Ryunosuke was and how Pavlova was. But that makes no sense. It's no easy task to be accepted as a foreign student anywhere. What could the woman have been up to? I'm afraid I really don't know. The only thing we can be sure of is that she had some business in our country that we don't yet understand. Okay, and now she's been killed. Well, all the questions surrounding her existence remain unanswered. I'm afraid so. Asian. Who on earth was she? And why do I feel as though I've heard that name before somewhere? Asian. Have we? I'm gonna look it up. I might spell this when I say it myself. Where have we heard Asian before? Huh. I have no idea. I don't remember. After my friend Ray's trial, the reporter who actually killed Miss Brett said something very strange. I know the truth. I know I had a hand in what went on, many memo, in that visiting student's fate. Okay, nobody here in Japan knows anything about it. They don't know that the guy never made it to England, that he died in that steamship, and that he'll never. He knew something about Kazuma? Obviously I couldn't ask him to elaborate at the time, but later I visited the man in his prison cell and asked him what he was going to say about Kazuma-sama. And what did you learn? After he died on the voyage to Great Britain, his body should have been unladen at the port of Hong Kong and passed into the care of the consultant staff there. Should have been? Well, it turns out that his body never arrived. It just disappeared. What? Kazuma's body vanished? Our government tried to cover the fact up, it seems. They erected a grave on the cliffs by our hometown, except Kazuma-sama isn't there. Did Professor Mikatoba know about this? Yeah, it would seem that he did, but he didn't tell me. They're still investigating what happened to Kazuma-sama's body as we speak. I just don't believe it. What is this acute feeling of apprehension I am all of a sudden? Kazuma mystery. Thinking back now, some of the things that happened on the SS Bay were definitely strange. I mean, after he died, we never saw his body again, did we? Huh. Could it be? Could it be that he's actually still alive? Stop it, Mr. Naruhodo. It's too much to bear. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Just thinking about the possibility pains me so very much. Cast your mind back for a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. When Kazuma-sama was discovered, Mr. Shums was there, wasn't he? Yeah, and he definitely examined the body. I remember it clearly. You're right. So if Kazuma hadn't actually been dead at all, it'd mean that Mr. Shums had lied to us. Oh. But there's no reason why he would possibly have done such a thing. I suppose that's true, yeah. The idea that he might still be alive somewhere. It wants to fill me with hope, but I can't let it, because if it turned out not to be true, then I'd be back at the bottom of that awful pit of despair again. I'm terrified of what that might do to me. Oh, Mr. Sato. I know she's given the idea the fault it deserves. It's the Sato-san we're talking about after all, so I probably shouldn't push it now. I feel so bad for her. Is that everything we need to talk about with her? No. Okay, that's all we need to talk about with Psssttt, but we need to talk to Iris as well. It must have been about a year ago now. I wrote a really long story based on some of my father's own notes. It's about one of Hurley's greatest exploits. I called it the Hand of the Baskervilles. Oh yeah, we never really learned about what happened to it. What happened to the whatever it's called, the script or whatever. But then Mr. Shums forbade you from publishing it. I put the manuscript somewhere, the manuscript, somewhere nobody could get their hands on it. Yeah, and, what was it? What is it called? In the pawnbroker, I can't remember what it's called. So nobody knows anything about it apart from Kelly and I. But for some reason, you knew the title of it, didn't you, Susie? Oh, it sounds so exciting. The Hand of the Baskervilles. I should love to read it. Huh. And you wouldn't tell me how you'd come to know it. Yeah, but I made you a promise that I'd explain one day, didn't I? I think it's time. Oh! I'm only sorry I've had to keep it from you for so long, Iris. Okay. It was completely by accident that I came to know the title of your manuscript, Iris. It was a short while before we left Japan. I was cleaning Father's study and I saw something on his writing desk. A large box of papers. There was a label affixed to the box that was written in English. It read, The Hound of the Baskervilles. What? My Baskerville story? Of course. I had no idea what it was at the time. But Father came in and... Sato, what are you doing? Oh, Father, did you look at those papers? No, I simply read the label, that's all. Well, put it out of your mind. Sorry? Forget that you ever saw it, and certainly don't tell anybody else about this. Do you understand? So Mika Toba also knew of it. But what was Zieks' manuscript doing in Japan? I'm guessing that her look, instead of putting it in the pawnbroker, sent it over to Mika Toba. I have no idea. When I heard Iris mention the word Baskerville that day, the title just slipped out. I would never have guessed that it was an unpublished account of one of Mr. Sholmes' exploits. When I returned to Japan, I asked Father to explain, but he refused to answer any of my questions, and there was no sign of the big box in his office. That's really all I know about it. I've no doubt that Father has a very good reason for being so secretive about it, but still. I made up my mind to explain myself to both of you. Well, thank you for being so honest, Susie. So, Mr. Naruhodo, I'm ready to start investigating if you are. I've committed every detail about the case to memory. And Iris has told me about the disturbing happenings at the Waxwork Museum as well. So, you're fully abreast of the situation already, Mr. Sato. I'd expected nothing else, to be honest. I would think our first protocol... Scrap my hair in my mouth, Jesus Christ. I think our first protocol should be to investigate this Mr. Jabber. The engineer responsible for building the elaborate machine that was used to effect this extraordinary trick. Yeah, a conjurer of sorts, by the sounds of it, well known in the field of science and magic. Then, we need to go and arrest him. Well, yeah. We must know the truth behind this case, so I agree we really do need to find this man. It sounds like it's a case of tracking someone down, which is a job for the police, or a great detective. I was supposed to guess who she might be thinking of. We don't have much time, so we need to get started straight away, I think. Good idea. Well, best of luck then. Oh, you're not coming today? I'm going to Brixton Road shortly by the Herb Market. But let me know later how you got on, won't you? Okay, so she's not investigating with us. That's a little abrupt. The pull of the Herb Market must be strong. Okay, let us go. Okay. A location has been added, which has been... What's the new location? We have our legal consultancy, we have Schultz's suite, we have the Lord Chief Justice's office, we have the prison, we have the prosecutor's office, we have the experimentation stage, and we have Madame Tussauds. Okay, now, let's go to the prison, because we're going to ask our client, we're going to ask Hairbrain about this. What's his name? This guy that Hairbrain mentioned, that I cannot remember the name of. What's he doing? Oh my, the whole wall of the cell is covered in mathematical equations. And he's still writing more now. Professor, sorry to interrupt. I noticed a Pythagorean pair on my head. Maths brain. Mr. Naruhodo, I'm curious this young lady. My name is Psssttt Mikitoba. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor. Oh, if only I'd met a refined young woman like you sooner, none of this would have happened. No, that's not logical. That makes no sense at all. Oh dear, I'm sorry if my presence here upsets you. I owe you an apology too, Professor. I didn't manage to deliver what I promised you. I promised you I would in court this morning. Oh no. The whole miserable affair, it all happened because I've been such in a complete and utter clot. Professor Harebrained, what have you been working on yourself? Oh, you mean that? Oh dear, how embarrassing. I was suddenly struck by an idea, see, and I simply had to write it down. The wall was all I had to hand. Oh, is it some new hypothesis? Something to surpass super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, maybe? No, actually, it's my autobiography. Your autobiography? How I was nibbled and fiddled by Albert Harebrained. I found I can represent my odd fortunes with only odd numbers in an ambitious set of simultaneous equations. Really? I'm going to have to pay back all the loans I took for the kinesis machine, you see. So it's going to be a new serial publication from the next month. Part 1, an odd birth, an odd upbringing. Can't beat the man's optimism, that's for sure. I see. Well, for now, would you mind if we talked a little more about the case? Oh yes, of course. I've been working for the numbers. I was fiddled, but the pair of them. Aslan, I bet that leaf engineer, Drebber, that was his name. We're not going to have to sit through an explanation of all these equations, are we? Let us confess, this one is trial. Everything I believed in has been turned on its head. My research, Mr. Asman, the kinesis machine, my hypothesis even. I'm sorry it comes to this. There was really no other way. No, it's not your fault. I wanted to protect my work, but in the end, there was nothing worth protecting. It was never my intention to deceive anyone. I didn't want to trick the public. No, of course you didn't. But in court this morning, I realized something. Oh? If you've done something wrong without knowing it, you've still done something wrong. Logically, it makes no difference if you're aware of it or not. Ignorance is a poor excuse. The blame still lies with me. Oh, Professor. He believed in me this morning, you know. Barok did. He believed in my hypothesis. But I think that was just a necessary factor in the prosecution establishing its case. No, Barok wouldn't do something like that. I'm sure he genuinely believed it. Did he? I think I understand now. Why it was he decided to take on the prosecution in my trial, I mean. What was Barok's motivation then? After the terrible accident happened, nobody would believe in my hypothesis anymore. Not the police, not the prosecution service, not any lawyers even. I feel like I dealt some kind of finishing blow there. So if any of the prosecutor had taken the case, if it was anyone other than Barok, I'm sure the prosecution would have declared my hypothesis as C complete and utter nonsense. Complete. And in that case, you would have been declared a fraud yourself, Professor. Exactly, what would have been a fate worse than death for me? Which would have been a fate worse than death for me? But Barok insisted that I was a proper man of science from start to finish. You think that's why? I'm putting my iPhone to charge. I know him very well indeed. He's an extremely kind-hearted soul. Even if we didn't meet that part of him. But an extremely kind-hearted soul spent our money trying to paint you as a murderer, didn't it? Yeah. Well, admittedly, that part of the analysis appears to have some flaws in it. And what about the whole Reaper side of things? How does that fit with the kind-hearted soul idea? Mr. Asman, do you think you set out to trick me from the very start? I'm sorry, I'm very itchy. I'm sorry to say, that does seem likely, yes. When I first met him, he introduced himself as a wealthy financier. He looked over the paper I'd written and said my work could benefit all humanity and must be pursued. He was so enthused, he was so emphatic. But in reality, he was the mastermind of some vast criminal network, it seems. I still can't believe it. As the machine was essentially a set decoration for some stage magic. It probably didn't require a large amount of investment, actually. But the scale of it wasn't just some small trick. It was a very elaborate feat of deception. Our young scientists are full of hope about their burgeoning ideas, are full of zeal, but none of us have any money. We want to do research, but we can't afford it. Many of us took a barely legal part-time work to try to earn just a few measly pennies to carry on. To go through all that only to be taken for a complete fool. It's too rotten to believe. Yes, I agree. And that's why we have to find those responsible and bring them to justice. Mr. Aspen is no more, of course, which leaves only the engineer. Tired, Mr. Enoch Drebber. Is he an engineer or a magician or a swindler? It was about a year ago when Mr. Aspen first brought Drebber to meet me at my laboratory. Since then, I've met him many times to discuss details about the kinesis machine. But at no point did you have any inkling that he was just an illusionist? Oh, he definitely wasn't just an illusionist. What do you mean? He was a wealth of deep scientific knowledge. There's no question that the man is a genuine scientist. It's instantly apparent in conversation. I see. But the wretched man deceived you, Professor. It's unforgivable. We must do everything we can to find him and bring him to justice. Are there no more clues you can give us to us his whereabouts? I'm sorry, we only ever discussed the kinesis machine, nothing else. Huh. Oh no, just once. I did visit his workshop. What workshop? Drebber's enormous fabrication laboratory, where he constructed that great machine. I love how just the satellite just turns to a slightly select. Why didn't you mention this before? In Drebber's workshop, there's every chance we might find the man there. So you've been to Drebber's place of work, then? Yeah, just once, you understand? It's an enormous place, plenty of room to construct the kinesis machine, you see. Where can we find it? We have to go there at once. There's a good chance we'll find Drebber there. Well, yeah, definitely. I'm sure. As in, I'm sure you're not going to want to hear this. But I have absolutely no idea. Jesus Christ. Where the workshop is at all. I'm so sorry. I was more than half expecting that. You see, I was blindfolded in the carriage the entire way there. He blindfolded you? He wasn't taking any chances there. The place was incredible, the pinnacle of modern engineering. Even the oil he used was the very best, a special French machine oil that's impossible to obtain in Britain. Ah, the indescribable scent of that imported oil. Perfumers across the world should forget their secret formula and use that instead. What do you think, Mr. Sato? Oh, the machine for your next birthday? I've never used any kind of perfume, Mr. Naruto, and I'm not sure I'd like to start with that. I don't suppose you know even part of the workshop's address, Professor. You don't have a business card for Mr. Drebber, for example? The man was clearly very cautious, Mr. Sato. I'm sure he would never have. Yeah, I do. He gave me his business card once. It's right here, look. Let me see that. So, it's get into the wind, why don't you? Enoch Drebber, engineer. I'm afraid that's all it says. There's no address. No. Oh well, I can't say I'm surprised. Still, this could be useful. Okay. I need to talk about that then. And I think that's everything we need to talk about with this guy. So how about we move, I think we're going to move next. The Lord Chief Justice office. Who the fuck is that? beside large drunk hat. I wonder. I've never seen her before. The young champion of the court. You had some success in court this morning. I understand. I'm taking a little disqualification. And you've thrown the entire government into disarray as a result. Oh, you mean because of Professor Harebrain's experiment? Sham science being demonstrated at London's Great Exhibition. The country's been made to look foolish, and now politicians are scrambling to respond. Lord Van Zieks is in the Whitehall as we speak, giving an emergency briefing. Oh dear, I didn't mean to cause any trouble. None of this is your responsibility. The government is entirely to blame to having been taken in. The special dispensation that prevents investigation at the scene will be annulled later today. Once that happens, my forensic investigation team will move in and deal with that scrap metal in no time. It's scrap metal now, is it? Until later then, Lord Drunkheart. Yes, thank you. Who was that? I'm guessing she's some kind of like doctor or something because of the thing that was on a tie. And who's that? That was Dr. Courtney Scythe. Scotland Yard's esteemed chief coroner. Okay, I knew it was something medical. She's a coroner. She's leading the forensic investigation teams handling the case. Do we have her in our court record? I can show you. Because I don't know if you noticed it. No, we do not. We do not have her in our court record. She was just delivering her report about the victim in fact. Is it going to be revealed that she was the actual murderer in this case? I see. About Mr. Starsman. Following the outcome of the trial earlier, I asked the coroner's office to re-evaluate its findings. I don't have time to tell you what she concluded. If you want to know, you have to ask her directly. You can find her in the forensics laboratory. Alright. Now, what were you here to see me about? I can give you 7 minutes and 39 seconds of my time. So it's not running quite so spectacularly late anymore. Yeah, he was 4 hours late to a meeting because he was talking to us. Well, not talking to us, but you know, he was already a few hours late because before talking to us. What exactly is the forensic investigation team that you mentioned before? The British Empire's police force must become the most exemplary in the world. For that to happen, it's imperative that we embrace forensic science and everything it has to offer. I first created the forensic investigation team a year ago now, unofficially of course, to pave the way. Goodness, a year ago? At next month's symposium, I intend to present the results of their work to the world. Once I do that, the House of Lords will be powerless to oppose the creation of a full-scale forensics division. And once that happens, the position of Attorney General will be mine, and criminals will suffer daily. And we know kind of that forensic science is like an actual division in the Ace Attorney universe. Because if you don't know, if this is like your first Ace Attorney stream, if this is your first Great Ace Attorney stream, the Great Ace Attorney games take place like 100, 200 years before the events of Phoenix Wright, the Phoenix Wright trilogy, and the Apollo Justice trilogy. And Emma Skye, who first appears in the Rise from the Ashes case and reappears in the first Apollo Justice. I don't know if she comes up in Dual Destinies. I assume she comes up later in either Dual Destinies or Spirit of Justice, because I'm pretty sure she has a 3D model. I'm pretty sure I've seen a 3D model, so I'm pretty sure she comes up later on. But yeah, she wanted to go in the forensic science like field before getting just put in as just getting a job as a regular detective. And once that happens, the position of Attorney General will be mine, and criminals will suffer daily. What do you mean? For too long, those scoundrels have made a mockery of our legal system with false evidence and bribes. But London's government is about to be rounded up and burned in the fires of hell. I intend to see it personally. By creating the finest police force the world has ever known to protect our honour and our future. Look at those eyes. It means every word. Dr. Scythe is an extremely reliable coroner. well, you can only really go into that career path if your last name is Scythe. When I officially established the forensics division at the Scotland Yard, she'll run it as my right-hand woman. Now then, speaking of my symposium, I'm trying to push my hair back. Miss Mikitoba? Oh, yes, my lord? Your father should be on the high seas as we speak, making his way here to represent the Empire of Japan. Yes, that's right. I understand he will arrive at the beginning of next month. Are you acquainted, Lord Frankhart? With Professor Mikitoba, I mean. It was many years ago now, but yes. I remember Dr. Mikitoba very well. Oh, he has a doctorate? If my memory serves, it was some 15 years ago now that your father came to Britain as a visiting student. It was the year I was born. So yes, 16 years ago in fact. Mikitoba was a young practitioner of forensic science, and Jigoku accompanied him as a young, promising judge. Oh. Shishiro Jigoku. I'm gonna keep trying to say his full name so I don't actually forget Shishiro's full name. I'm cleaning my glasses, so obviously it's been very blurry. The punctiliousness and politeness of the Japanese at the time impressed us greatly. Not that I wish to imply impoliteness or carelessness on your part in any way. I didn't think that you were. Dr. Mikitoba studied forensics at one of London's large hospitals. St. Sinners, if I'm not mistaken. Dr. Scythe was also there then, as it happens. Then Dr. Scythe knows my father then, does she? She was a young medical assistant at the time, so I doubt their paths crossed regularly. But I've no doubt they knew each other superficially. After all, Dr. Mikitoba was here studying his subjects for some 6 years in total. 6 years. That's a long time to be studying abroad, isn't it? I lived with my grandmother in those years. So he left his newly born daughter behind and went overseas for 6 whole years? Jesus Christ. Okay, I cleaned those for a while. It was a rather turbulent time at home. Oh. Perhaps Father wanted a reason to get away. What do you mean? Why? Well, clearly something was going on at the time. Okay, what's going on with Van Zieks? I wanted to ask you about Lord Van Zieks, actually. I heard that his older brother was killed some years ago by a mass murderer known as the Professor, who targeted nobles and royalty. Is that right? Oh yeah! Van Zieks is like from a noble line or something. I completely forgot that. Your Japanese are a thorough lot. You've done your research well. Yeah. And you could say it was very incident that gave rise to the Reaper. What? Why? When his brother, Clint Van Zieks, was murdered, it was just after a young Barok had graduated from the University of London and become a prosecutor. When obvious criminals who managed to evade conviction in court started disappearing, rumours quickly spread throughout the capital. Londoners started to say that wherever Barok Van Zieks went, the ghost of his dead brother was far behind. Oh my word! Oh, that makes more sense! That makes more sense as a curse. So Lord Van Zieks isn't the Reaper, it's the ghost of his brother. Ever since that time, he became a very aloof figure in London's legal circles. Oh yeah, Lord Strongheart. Go ahead. It's about Professor Harebrain's experiment. We'd like your permission to examine the remains if possible. Are you all versed in science then? Not in the slightest. In fact, you could say I was barely aware of the subject at all until recently. When the special dispensation legally preventing the investigation of the machine is currently being annulled. Within a few hours, Dr. Sy's team of forensic experts will begin their own investigation. But I suppose until then, there's no harm in you looking at the wreckage as long as you touch nothing. Thank you. Being able to look at it is better than nothing. And I'll be able to see it too. Yeah. Oh yeah, so sometimes I've seen it yet. Your time is up. You'll have to excuse me now, I'm afraid. The next engagement calls. We are extremely sorry to have to trouble you when you are so busy, my lord. My dad is calling me. My dad is calling me. For some reason, isn't it? My dad said that it called as if like I was already on my phone, which is weird. Because obviously I was not on my phone. I was not on a call with anyone else. I was just, streaming. I have important matters to attend to in preparation for the symposium, and you understand. Okay, let's go. And let's new location has been added. I feel like our next step is to go to the forensic laboratory to talk to Dr. Sinner. Not Sinner, Scythe. St. Sinner's was the hospital or the place that Miktober worked at or like studied at or whatever. I believe this is it. Dr. Scythe's laboratory. That chemical smell really assaults the nose. And there's plenty to assault the eyes in here too. It looks as though the doctor isn't here. But when I head out, we might as well do some sightseeing, don't you think? What a seasoned tourist you become, Mr. Sato. We could have a little look around, be no careful to upset any restless souls. There's a clock down there. Can I examine that or look at that? That looks like an owl and a crow there. I know, they haven't even twitched since we came in here. Well, no, they wouldn't have. Their taxidermy mouths must have been harder. I was afraid you were going to say that. I've been trying very hard to tell myself they're just sleeping with their eyes open. Yeah, I think perhaps you were wise to put something like your Daruma doll display in the office instead. Yeah, Daruma doll is very much less terrifying than taxidermy. Look at this big thick book here. Ah, it appears to be an accounting ledger. It's a record of the forensic investigation team's spending, I think. Oh? What is it? It's clear that the team purchases various equipment and supplies on a monthly basis, but, well, one entry seems rather strange. Really? In what way? They're buying 500 scalpels every month. I did 5 minutes, guys. I did 5 minutes. 500? That's a lot. They must be really working hard. They must be working really hard on dissecting corpses. Why did my brain try to rearrange that sentence? I don't know. Judicial autopsies are only carried out in certain special circumstances. And scalpel blades can be sharpened too. It does seem a bit strange, you're right. 500 scalpels a month. What could they possibly be using all of them for? That's gotta be expensive. That's gonna be fucking expensive. What are you doing? Ah! Oh, it's Dr. Scythe. See the little thing? Oh, it looks like it kind of looks like little like I don't know if it's just me. But it looks like little like snakes are making up like this medical symbol. I do not remember what it's called. I don't know what it's called. I think I've heard what it's called before. I just don't remember. But it looks like little snakes are making up this medical symbol here. Sorry, we had something I wanted to ask you, but you weren't here, so. And she's a snake here. Look, those snakes. that proves more of a theory that my observation that those are made up of little snakes. So you thought you could snoop around? That's acceptable to people from the east, is it? Well, what do you want? That's drunk out to just, you see, that it was you who examined the victim's body. Mr. Asman's body, I mean. So what did she say? So he came to ask you about your findings, on Lord Strongheart's advice. Very well. If the Lord Chief Justice has given his consent, I'll tell you what our investigation revealed. But when we're done, you must leave immediately. Okay. We'll go after you tell us. So, you want to know what the forensic investigation team determined its examination in its... She said, what did she say? From it. So you want to know what the forensic investigation team determined from its examination of the scene? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do indeed. The victim, Mr. Odi Asman, who disappeared from the experimentation stage amid an explosion, and the Mr. Asman who appeared moments later powering up the Crystal Tower, were without question one and the same person. That is the team's conclusion. But that can't be right. If it was an elaborate trick, we can only speculate about how it was carried out. Let's see, if two people who looked very similar to each other were involved, they could have made it appear as if one single person had switched places, couldn't they? Very true, but sadly in this instance, that was not the case. The man who disappeared and the man who subsequently reappeared was the same person. The fingerprints at the scene made that quite evident. Ah, fingerprints. They're not yet officially recognised as forensic evidence in the British justice system, but one day, they will be used as an investigative technique as a matter of course. Oh my, but that would mean that the instantaneous kinesis actually took place. But where does that leave us? My team was tasked with investigating, not drawing conclusions. Yeah, fair enough. Instantaneous kinesis is impossible, and yet the body did move from one place to the other. This hasn't cleared anything up at all. It's made the whole thing even more of a mystery. Yeah, this is weird. Huh? Mama, what is this? Ah, where did she spring from? And did you call the doctor Mama? This is a lawyer there. Oh. Hello. Me too. Pleased to meet you. Yes, I'm a defense lawyer. But you're not scared now, huh? Mama? Yes? Can I cut this one up? What? I've never seen an inside an Eastern person before. I want to know what it looks like. Same as a British person? Of course you can. It's a live specimen as you can very well see. I'd start soon. Boring. I think you just had a near-death experience? Oh dear, Mr. Naruto, you're as pale as a corpse. Then let's leave before I'm mistaken for one. Okay, let's go. I guess the last place we can go? Then we should go for now. Experimentation stage. Back here, that glass is still not fixed up. Jeez, you're right. Still, the other day. I know, it's a little puppy. Aww. I had no idea there were so many people in the world. I know what you mean. It's really packed here today. It feels as though it's taken us 2 hours just to make our way through the crowds to this point. Okay, it is my break time and I need to stretch. Jeez. slightly tired, but I think we are close to finishing this now. I'm gonna reread what Psssttt said, because I don't think a lot of people catch that because of the ad. But I think we'll just have here. Well, yeah, we're close to finishing this now, so I might as well finish this investigation, and then we can do the trial on Friday. So yeah. 3, 2, 1, and welcome back, everybody. Welcome back from the ad. It feels as though it's taken us 2 hours just to make our way through the crowds at this point. Has it? I shut my brain down, so I didn't really notice, to be honest. Gosh, I do wish I had your absence of mind sometimes, Mr. Narhado. There you are. I had a feeling you lot would show your mugs before long. Ah, it's Gregson. Inspector Gregson. I see you hard at work as usual. Well, greetings to you. I do hope you've been keeping well since we last met. Since last we met, even. What's with all the ceremony? We just saw each other in court this morning. No, you sunshine. The gentlewoman so loyally at your side. Oh. Right, thank you, Inspector. How good of you to notice. You might be a bit rough around the edges, but it's still a proper English gentleman at heart, I suppose. As you've probably guessed, we were hoping to investigate the scene some more. Right, but that's the young trainee's domain. Oi, get over it, Gina. She's still a puppet. Aww, that dog is so cute. She seems too busy to play with a puppet, probably giving it a traditional East End training. Gina? She's a police officer now? Amazing, isn't it? She's a good kid, actually. Heart's in the right place, anyway. She's got the detection bug, if you ask me. Yep, I think she'll follow in my footsteps nicely. What do you mean? I'm being transferred. It's asked me to say Toodaloo to London. Oh no, really? That's a bit sudden, isn't it? I had no idea. So where are you going to be posted then? We'll come to see how you're getting along. Not likely. But you're welcome to try. If you don't mind a trip to France, that is. To France? I'm working in the Paris Police Prefecture. Should be right in my alley. But France, it's an entirely different country. I don't understand. Why would you be sent there? That's the way the adult world works, sunshine. Now don't go poking your nose in it where it's not wanted. I'm intending to take the kid with me when I go. What? You took a Gina to Paris? I can't leave her in London. Who knows what would become of her? I suppose he's worried she'd slip back into slipping her hands into people's pockets and purses. I don't think he's worried about her pickpocketing, Mr. Narhado. I think he's worried about the Reaper. Oh, of course! Yeah. So that's playing on Inspector Gregson's mind too, innit? Anyway, I haven't mentioned any of this to Gina, so don't go blabbing, you hear me? No, of course not. I'm gonna keep that diving diva safe and sound. Until all this is over, at least. Gina! Oi, did you call me a blooming diving diva again? So yeah, that did ya? Right, well, any questions about the scene you can put up to my capable detective diva, eh? Alright, you heard the boss. Inspector Lestrange's in charge here now. I suppose I'd better keep my word and not mention anything about Paris. So, Gina, you got a new dog, have you? Oh, isn't he great? Toby's his name. Oh, how delightful. He's absolutely adorable. Yeah, the dog does seem lovely. But it's not so lovely. It's still not so lovely Inspector Gregson that's playing on my mind, to be honest. Oh yeah, would she be able to take him to France with her? Let's get in the scene. Gina, we're actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again. Yeah, alright. If it's around here, you can do what you like. Oh, that's alright, isn't it? I'm going to be playing with my new friend here. Oh yeah, Toby. Oh, it's so cute. The machine that exploded must be at the top of those stairs, I presume. I haven't actually seen it yet, so if you don't mind. Sorry, you can't go up there yet, Suze. Oh. It's like I told Otto yesterday. Even I ain't allowed to let it work. What's it called again? The reason we're supposed to touch it? The special dispensation for scientific equipment act? Is that what you're thinking of? That's the one. That's why only them lot are allowed to investigate it. What is it called again? The forensic something. The forensic investigation team? Is that what you're thinking of? That's the one, yeah. But isn't it the case that the special dispensation has been lifted? I think so. I don't really get it, to be truthful, yeah. You're still supposed to get permission from some bigwig as far as I know. What was his name then? Large, strange, something? Strongheart. I'm not sure that's quite right, Gina. I think you mean Large Strongheart, perhaps? That's the one, yeah. Apparently, he's always watching the time or something. Actually, we've just recently been to see Large Strongheart. Eh? You are? You met him? Last time the boss was called to go and see him. He waited for 3 hours at the Cove's office and came back sniveling. Tragic. Well, Lord Strongheart has given us permission to examine the scene as long as we touch nothing. Oh yeah? Honestly. Alright then, go ahead. But if it turns out you're lying, it'll be the boss who gets it. He'll never eat another chip again in his life. So, you're still saying all this is above board, are you? I'm sure everything will be fine. It really would be tragic. Alright then, upstairs. Off you go. Oh, thank you, Gina. It was great, innit? It was great, wasn't it? I had a right laugh. It was a new one on me, that. You know, being in court, being in court and not spending the whole time worrying about to be found out. You did keep an awful lot of secrets in all your previous court appearances, didn't you? Yeah, I thought it was made things hard for me every single time and all. Just doing my job, Gina. But watching someone else get in the neck is a lot of fun, actually. It was amazing when you showed that dodgy professor's dodgy experiment was a total fix. The dodgy professor, as you put it, Gina, is Mr. Naruto's client. Yeah, I'm starting to wish he wasn't though. It's the boss I feel sorry for. Set out to do the impossible. What do you mean? You're supposed to arrest that other cove, ain't he? And in time for tomorrow and all. You know, the dodgy engineer? What's his name again? Mr. Drebber, you mean? I know, Drebber? That's the one, yeah. So the police are looking for this mysterious man with the black monocle. I guess they would be. It's putting too much on the boss if you ask me. He says it's giving him gut egg. Oh damn me, but I do wonder if this actually isn't actually from all the fried food. Yeah, from all the fish and chips he's been eating. So Scotland Yard are trying to track down Mr. Drebber. I wonder if they've had any luck. He's really fucking. He's really funny looking. Got 2 eyes but don't match. Still, good luck from a picture of him earlier. I mean, I didn't actually pinch it, I did. The old devil's got it. Sorry, who? You know, that Scotland Reaper was always looking down glasses of that blood red plug. Left on Zieks. He's always zed it in for me, that cove. Don't know what he's always scowling about mine. Probably would have been a pretty good boss as it goes. She'd rather be the Reaper's apprentice than a detective trainee. The way I see it, if the choice is between a chip-guzzling detective and a chalice-lugging demigod, equally badly off with both. I suppose you're right. I hadn't thought of it like that. Glad we were put down to bed. Anyway, the point is, everyone at the yard's dead set on finding the fish engineer. But they don't seem to know clues to go on, so they're stuck. There's nothing that can lead us to Drebber at all. Let's ask about Toby. Where'd you find that little mutt then, Gina? Oi, don't be so flaming rude, Otto. Is that off the reaction, don't you think? He ain't no mutt, alright. Toby's... How did he play it? A string? Oh yeah, a bona fide detective. Sorry? I've given him a proper title and everything. It's Chief Inspector Toby to you. Look, more senior than Inspector ranks in here, is he? Obviously. Seems like a great detective to me. Oh, it's just a police dog, is he? The police are to recruit dogs now. I've heard that they're already being used officially in Germany as part of their city policing. They're used for chasing criminals and such like. They have a wonderful sense of smell after all. I have a fairly good sense of smell myself as it happens. I can tell undergarments that have been freshly laundered from undergarments that haven't. That's nothing compared to this little fellow, although. Oh, really? According to what the boss said, once Toby's ears got good with your jaws, he can chase that sense to the other side of the world. What? To the other side of the world? I mean, he can swim. Mr. Nahono, I think you may have missed the point by rather a wide margin. I just can't believe this little dog has such an incredible skill. I mean, a lot of dogs can swim. I'm telling you, although there's gonna be more and more dogs doing that bit for the police in the future. That's actually true, yeah. Yeah, I agree. Right, one of these days they'll be barking orders at us, lot, not the other way around. Oh dear. Sorry, Gina, I don't think I agree with your vision by that much. Well, anyway, whatever you think about that, Toby is Britain's first police dog. I found him down the East End the other day. Someone had just chucked him out on the street. Oh, there you go. I knew she lifted him from somewhere. Oh, Gina, you're such a kind-hearted soul, aren't you? To children and to animals. Oh, I think we have to... Yes, for this. The Stark Smudger. I think perhaps it's machine oil. Oh yeah, possibly. Professor Airbrain mentioned something about the oil Mr. Jobby uses, didn't it? He said it was specifically employed very... Why did I say specifically? He said it was specially employed very high quality oil that's impossible to obtain in Britain. Yeah, that's right. But more importantly, that is more fragrant than the finest perfume. So excuse me a moment. Oh, it doesn't appear to have any scent at all. Don't worry, I expect that. It's just because there's such a tiny amount in here. Okay. Okay. I think we have to just present it to Gina before we go. About this, Gina. Yeah, I'm still learning me letters at the moment. I only know A to E, so if it ain't too much bleeding trouble. Actually, Gina, it's the back of the card that's important. Eh? How come? There's just a dirty old smudge in the back, that's all. It turns out this is very high quality French machine oil. It's a very particular scent, apparently. You don't say. Let's have a whiff then. You sure? I don't smell it, no. No, we didn't mean that you should smell it. Oh, alright, you mean Toby. It says it smells so good he can track people over the oceans, can't he? Professor Airbrain informs us that this oil is unique to Mr. Jabba's workshop. So cute. I think he's picked up a scent. So you mean if he follows the scent on the soil, so we can lead us to Dodgy Cove's workshop? That's right. That's exactly what we were hoping. Alright then, we'll give it a go. I'll just borrow that. What, wait, what's a pickpocket? Always a pickpocket. If we can lead everyone to that Jabba's workshop, I'll be the boss. I'll be the boss's boss before next week. Oh yeah, Gina. I'm sure you'll be promoted. Poor Brexit. Right now, no. Leave it to me. Sorry? I'm gonna get going after that dodgy engineer call right this minute. Oh, but hang on. Someone's supposed to be on guard duty here all the time. I'm afraid we can't help. We need to get on with our investigation as well, Gina. Oh, right. Oh, never mind. It ain't gonna be me or what gets in the neck. It'll be the boss. Poor Gregson again. Ready, Tommy? Got that all sent, have you? Go on then, boy. See you later. Oh, this is cute. And you hope the scent of that oil leads them to the swindler's workshop. Yeah, I hope so too. Ideally before the dog swims across the Channel to France. Okay, then let's go upstairs then. These stairs lead up to the experimentation stage. Let's go see what we can find out. Oh, wait. Oh my, so this is a machine that's used to deceive people into thinking instantaneous kinesis, the fancy words, had taken place. Yeah, that's right, or rather, it was the machine. It's a little worse for wear at the moment. What extraordinary lengths Professor Harebrained went in order to obtain the research grant. No, the professor was strict as well. He didn't know anything about it. Yeah, of course. It is amazing though, isn't it? The scale of the whole affair is so very British. You're right about that. You've never seen such a grand deception in Japan, that's for sure. Oh look, is that... Oh! Barok. Love and Zieks. So, I think we're more or less done here, aren't we? Shall we, Mr. Setter? Already? He is the Reaper, remember? We do well to keep our distance, I think. But we have permission to be here, from the top. We're perfectly well allowed to investigate this machine, as long as we don't touch anything. From the top? Do you mean Lord Strongheart? Exactly. So we can stay here and start this wreckage for as long as we like. She could have been at the center of the explosion here and it would have been her steel will. Okay, let's get to examining time. I saw this is at the Crystal Tower thing. This wasn't here yesterday. Really? But if I'm not mistaken, it's the cage in which the victim was standing in before he was apparently beamed from the air. That's right, the bird cage. According to what Professor Harebrained said in court, it's made of wood. More precisely, Japanese cypress, I think. And despite having been in an explosion and then falling from a great height, it's relatively unharmed. What wonderfully durable construction, wouldn't you say, Mr. Naohara? I understood that the forensic investigation team had taken it away yesterday to examine it. I suppose they must have brought it back here when they finished their work. But sadly, not with the body inside it. No, that's right. I know we were given strict instructions not to touch anything, but still, this is too important a piece of evidence to overlook. We might need it for the trial. Yeah, true, we might need it. And then we have the machine. What a terrible explosion it must have been. Even the steel girders have buckled and twisted in the blast. And what they call the birdcage was right in the middle of it all. Yeah. That metal block on the floor looks as though it's designed to open up. It does, doesn't it? If the floor had opened at the precise moment the explosion occurred, the birdcage could have dropped through and disappeared from sight. I don't think there's any doubt that this was a very elaborate hoax, is there? Okay. Is there anything else we need to examine? I don't think so. Ah, fuck. I didn't mean to click on the machine again. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else we need to examine other than Barok? I don't think we need to examine this part of the machine. Though it is impressive. It is impressive. Ugh. Least approachable man in the world, winner 10 years in a row. Be strong, Mr. Naruhodo. Your country and your assistant stand firm behind you. Life on Zieks? What? Well, bit of a level where I'm in it. I thought I was making it quite clear that I didn't want to be disturbed. Apparently, you Japanese are unequipped to read the signs. Why? Oh, I read them. Yeah, it was just had to be wanting to do this, not Ryunosuke. So, what are you doing here? Spanky, welcome on in. Thank you for the raid. Welcome on in. How was your stream? How was it? How was your stream? I keep forgetting. You are keep forgetting to shout out command. I keep forgetting to do that when people raid in. But yeah. How was your stream? Mate? Today we're just playing a bit of Great Ace Attorney. We're on the second investigation of this case. And after this investigation, we only have one trial left, which we're gonna do on Friday, which we're gonna do on Friday probably. But yeah, welcome on in, everyone. If any of you guys 2 days for me in a week, aren't you lucky? I know, good to finish work early, so just did a short show. Okay. Okay, what did you play? I'm glad it was a good stream. But yeah, if any of you guys don't know me, I'm Poppy. I am a variety streamer. Currently I have been playing a lot of Ace Attorney recently. Since August, I started the Phoenix Wright trilogy in August, finished that in January, and then for the past few months I've been playing the Apollo Justice trilogy and Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, and this is Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of that, but I also play a few other games as well, like Minecraft. I'm currently on an SMP called Oswick Season 2, and playing a bit of Sims 4, and we just recently 100%ed Sticky Business, but staying because of because of the moon too, not much the moon. It's a train mech with a jetpack driven by a dog. 12 out of 10. You know what? That could sound like a 12 out of 10. Any game with just a dog in it. Instant 12 out of 10. Instant 12 out of 10. You gotta love having dogs in video games. Fun fact, we also okay, is he in the court record? I don't know if he would be in people or not. He's not. Do we have it in the court record? No. Okay, so you slightly just missed that we also just met a dog. We also just met a dog called Toby. He's like a police dog that Gina Lestrade found, and we gave Gina and Toby like this business card for like this criminal that we're trying to find, and they had an oil stain on the back that only this criminal uses. Gonna head out at work early in the morning, so have a good one. So have a great one. You have a great one as well, Spanky. Thank you again for the raid. Thank you again. But yeah, we also just met a dog called Toby. We had Gina and Toby this like card that had an oil stain on the back, and that only this criminal uses because it's imported from France. And they just went off to find it. Toby was like a sniffer dog, basically. So yeah, thanks again, Spanky, for the raid. Entry to this area is prohibited. The thing is, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart granted us permission to investigate on the condition that we didn't disturb anything. And yet you've managed to disturb me. Never mind. Stay in business then. Come to think of it, There are quite a few things I'd like to ask Lord Van Zieks about. Not least of which is that awful case, even though it's nothing to do with this. About his brother? Ask away, Mr. Naruhodo. You won't know unless you try. Your brother Clint. So, Clint was the name of your older brother, I understand, Lord Van Zieks. You need please. I always have to be on guard whenever you're around. So, you've been investigating me, have you? Oh, no, it's not like that. Well, alright, it is a bit like that. My older brother was also a prosecutor. He was the pride of the Van Zieks family. But tragically, our vicious killer took him from us. The professor, you mean? He's like, how the fuck do you know so much about my brother? Is something funny? That's the extent of what you've discovered, is it? I shouldn't be surprised. Sorry? There's more to it then? Lackluster work is very much your trademark, isn't it? Ugh, you're too kind. Are you going to tar all Nipponese with the same brush then? Next. So tell me, what's your interest in that historic incident? As it happens, Lord Van Zieks, there's a rather curious case that comes to our attention. What? Are you aware of the Madame Tussauds Museum of Waxworks by any chance? I am, naturally. I believe that since last month, I feature in one of the displays there for public scorn. Of course, the infamous Reaper Bailey would have to be exhibited, wouldn't it? Well, a particular waxwork has been stolen from the place, and held for ransom. A particular waxwork which... Wait, mean... Yeah, it's a professor. Mr. Sholmes is investigating the case as we speak. I was unaware of that. He's turned his wife as she. Okay, what do you know about Enoch then? What do you know about Enoch? Are you please trying to locate the engineer, Mr. Drebet, already? Surely that goes without saying. We're very keen to see him found as well. The trouble is, we don't have much to go on aside from the description of the man we had in court earlier. Which, according to Professor Hairbrain, was of a tall, thin gentleman who had straight white hair and wears a black monocle. Is he? Wait, would he be a man or would he be Courtney Scythe? She has straight white hair. And she's decently tall and thin. Suspicious. So I was just wondering. I mean, I realize it's probably not possible, but... And they could just do a gender switch. Like, it's possible the professor is actually Dr. Scythe. Which makes me suspect her further that she's the actual killer. We'd very much appreciate any more clues you can give us. Well, since that's aside, Lily knows how to take the bull by the horns. Fine, why not? I have a photograph of the man here from an investigation 10 years ago. It appears he already had the black monocle at the time. Huh. Wait, do we have it in our court record? So I can easily cut. I don't think we have it in our court record, but... Damn. That photograph made me slightly more suspicious of Courtney Scythe. What? Oh, no, nothing. I was just surprised that you shared that with us. We all need the man's testimony in court tomorrow, which means we have to do everything we possibly can to track him down in the short time available. So why wouldn't I show you the photograph? What I say about Lord Van Zieks, sometimes I just can't work him out at all. Okay. Okay. This is the Apprentice. This is huh? This is oh, I accidentally pressed E instead of space. This is Zieks' Apprentice. Ah, the file I requested for the trial tomorrow. Thank you. Psssttt. Do you know who this is? Are you alright? Who is this man, Mr. Naruto? Lord Zieks' Apprentice, apparently. So I'm not the only one. Psssttt-san can see it too. Lord Zieks? Can we speak for your apprentice for a moment? With him? Why? Kazuma-sama. She knows. She knows. She fucking knows. Kazuma? I don't believe it. Your posture, your presence. It can only be. It's you, isn't it, Kazuma-sama? I felt something strange the very first time I encountered this cloaked figure. As if I knew him somehow. Can it really be you, Kazuma? Wait! Too late. What's going on here? Your apprentice. What is your interest in my apprentice exactly? You act as if you know the man or something. Well, since when has he been in your care? I don't recall you having an apprentice before I left Britain 6 months ago. Lord Strongheart introduced him to me about 3 months ago now, with instructions to be mentor him as a prosecutor. Strongheart, he's a very suspicious man, isn't he? Like, why did he bring Kazuma to Lord Zieks specifically? Because Lord Zieks is the prosecutor we've faced against in every single case, except for 2, which were, the tutorial cases where we were against Ouchie. But every other case, and except for the second case, but we went in court then. But for how many cases now? Well, I think for like 8 cases out of this. No. 7 cases. Because 3 cases out of the first game, and then I think 4 cases out of this game. But we haven't played all the cases out of this game. This is the 3rd case, and there's 2 more cases left of this one. But for like 7 cases out of Chronicles, I'm pretty sure we face against Lord Zieks. So why specifically Lord Zieks? This is fitting too much into place, and I don't like it. Strongheart is so suspicious. But he didn't tell you why, did he? The man appears to be suffering from amnesia. He's forgotten every last detail about himself. Okay, I suspected as much. I suspected that. I didn't say anything. He has amnesia? Tomorrow he will appear in court at my side. What? He's to serve as my judicial assistant on Lord Strongheart's orders. He'll be in court with us. So I'm guessing that incident on the SS Burya didn't actually kill him, it just gave him like brain damage enough to cause amnesia? Now then, unless I'm much mistaken, I believe this conversation has run its course. Oh, yes, and thank you. I definitely saw a reaction there. He definitely at least somehow knows, either unconsciously or at the very least subconsciously, that his name is Kazuma. When Psssttt-san called out like that, it really seemed to hit a nerve when she called out Kazuma-sama. Oh god, I feel bad for her. I feel bad for the both of them, really. You'd already met that masked man, hadn't you, Mr. Naruto? Yeah, yesterday in fact. At Lord Van Zieks' office. I see. And if Kazuma-sama really is still alive, it means that Mr. Sholmes lied to us. I know. We're going to need to speak with him about that. You're going to have to leave now. The forensic investigation team are due to arrive shortly. If they find you here, it will cause problems. What sort of problems? Foreign affairs problems. Well, we could do without that. Alright, we'll be on our way. Let's go, Mr. Sato. Of course. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Well, I think we've done all the investigations we can here for now. If we could just determine the whereabouts of Mr. Drebber. I'm sure Gina and little Toby won't let us down. Now then, do you think we ought to try to speak with Mr. Sholmes at this point? We have things to discuss and I'm dying to meet him again after all these months. Yes, it's quite possible he might know something useful, you're right. We want to find him at Madame Tussauds. He's supposed to be working there as a temporary waxwork exhibit. Yes, Iris told me all about his latest unusual venture. Madame Tussauds. Here we are. Oh my, no wonder it's called the House of Horrors. I like to turn on my heels and go straight home. Really confectionery. Being scared makes you crave sweets. I can understand that. But you know, there's something about that waxwork over there. It looks exactly like Mr. Sholmes down to the very last detail. Because it is Sholmes. Aha! What is that? What is it? I keep accidentally hitting my mic when I move my hand. Oh, sorry, I think you'll find that's temporary waxwork himself. There she is. Oh, she does it. Her cloak. I was gonna say her hair is blue. Her cloak is like blue. It's like it looks like the lighting is making it look green. Ah, the friend of my dedicated employee. Yes, hello again. It's Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I must say, I'm quite spellbound by the great detective. He is a marvel. My precious waxwork is already back where it belongs. You don't mean... But yes, the mystery is solved already. Wow. Mr. Sholmes can really engage his brain when he's hungry enough. So as you can see, he has returned to his habitual duties. Yeah. His habitual duties? Others. Do not disturb. Huh? Pulse set aside. She looks very perplexed. Okay, first, we have to examine this. Ah! There's a stepladder there, look! Oh, yeah, a stepladder. I think perhaps we should let the proprietress know that someone's left it out. The stepladder, I mean. Is something wrong? Why do I feel as though I just managed to sidestep an argument? Oh, I just got the achievement for getting all the ladder versus stepladder conversations. Okay, now let's talk to man himself. We really do need to speak with Mr. Sholmes, and I am longing to say hello again. But whatever you say. There he is. There, I think you might find that it's quite nearby, actually. Oh, what'd you... Indeed, my dear fellows, it is I. The world famous, the great detective and waxwork, Sherlock Sholmes. The man himself. I'm just gonna check this card like quickly. Susato-san! My most humble apologies. I thought I died and got to eternal paradise for a moment. Via London. My dear madam, allow me to make amends by offering you a tasty free deduction at some point, as London is not of questionable street food quality. I don't understand. Why are you working as a waxwork here, Mr. Sholmes? Merely a secret identity, you understand. The case is largely solved now. Largely solved? We're talking about the waxwork abduction, I presume. Indeed we are, my good fellow. As I predicted, it was as easy as proverbial pie. Though I confess, I'm yet to partake of a pie. Proverbial or otherwise, I only feel like food so far today for that matter. Okay, go home and eat, please. That stomach grumble echoed around the whole museum. So how did you manage to solve it so quickly? Well, do you remember I said it was largely solved? Anyway, I simply negotiated with the culprit. Are you familiar with the so-called telephone? Yeah. Oh yeah, it's the most modern invention, allowing you to hold conversation with people far away. In Japan, only the imperial capital and a handful of other cities connected as yet. This morning, a telephone call was received here from the perpetrator of the abduction. As such, I was able to negotiate terms, and in the end, the waxwork was returned. That's amazing. Just between you and I, it appeared the culprit had always intended to return the stolen waxwork in any event. Oh, but I thought whoever was responsible had demanded a ransom more. Yeah, I think perhaps the ransom demand was necessary to avoid unwanted suspicion regarding the true motive. But does that not mean the negotiating was entirely unnecessary? Yeah. In fact, I must ask you to keep from Madame Psssttt at all costs. A hungry young Iris awaits my return to Baker Street after all. Poor Iris. Now then, do I sense that you have some business with this great waxwork? Not examine. Converse. We're in the process of trying to track somebody down. Oh? Yeah, a man by the name of Enoch Drebber. He's a swindler who duped Professor Harebrain and the engineer who built the kinesis machine. A swindler and an engineer? Quite a modern man. He also seems to be a conjurer of sorts too, with considerable knowledge of stage magic. We really need to locate him before the trial resumes tomorrow morning. But we have so few clues to go on, that's the trouble. Do you have any good ideas? I have no data yet. It is a capital mistake to have good ideas before one has data. If I knew something of the man's appearance, at least I may be in a better position to help. Yes, Drebber's appearance. Fortunately for you, however, presently I have little to occupy myself and little to fill my stomach. As soon as you find any clue, no matter how small, I should gladly give you my thoughts on it. Let's ask about Casimir's death though first. Mr. Sholmes, did you lie to us? My dear Mr. Nahodo, stay that Pearson's there. What is this about? Last winter, when we were first on our way to Great Britain aboard the steamship. Your words are very clear. So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. You told us that it was murder, and you examined Kazuma-sama's body. Indeed, and wherein lies the problem? We met him earlier today, the victim, Kazuma Asoge. You're quite sure? He was wearing some sort of mask and was apparently suffering from amnesia. But yes, I'm quite sure. It was Kazuma-sama. You must have known at the time, Mr. Sholmes, that he wasn't actually dead. Yeah, when I played that case, I was like, oh, that case, that his death was a bit silly, he tripped over a water cat or whatever and just, died. Well, I can only assume I was sucked up in murderous atmosphere at the moment. But the fellow wasn't dead at all? Priceless. I don't suppose that performance would pass muster, would it, Mr. Naruhodo? I could believe that the crewman present at the time made a mistake, but not you, Mr. Sholmes. Yeah, you're smart enough. You're smart enough to know. And I'll tell you something of my first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives. I want to lie. It will serve you well to remember that. Please, Mr. Sholmes. Tomorrow in court, you'll find yourself on the threshold of a very great mystery. For now, I'm afraid that is all I can say. Okay. And he said something about wanting to look for, on what something about Enoch's appearance. He wants to prove that Enoch's appearance. Mr. Sholmes, would you cast your eyes over this photographic print? So we're going to give him the photo. It's of Mr. Enoch Adreva. The face of the engineer we seek. Well, all Englishmen look broadly the same, of course, so looking at this photograph won't be particularly instructive. Are you alright, Mr. Sholmes? Ah yes, forgive me. Very interesting, this. Very interesting indeed. What's wrong, Mr. Sholmes? You feel quite pale all of a sudden. I have a suggestion, Mr. Naruhodo. Will you indulge me? Oh, well, what is it? As I explained to you when you arrived, the missing waxwork has been returned, and I personally reinstalled it in the exhibit from which it was taken, behind those thick curtains. Oh yeah, the professor exhibit, in it. Would you like to see it? For a mere 5 shillings? That's a special one-time only price for this time. What? The opportunity won't come again, I might add. Wouldn't you like to see the fruits of my labour? Oh, well, we do have a rather pressing investigation to carry out. Perhaps we could postpone? The price is a very reasonable 5 shillings. I think you find it well worth. Okay. Are you being quite serious, Mr. Sholmes? Surely you need only look at my expression to ascertain if this is seriousness or silliness. I can never tell you, that's the point. Very well, it couldn't hurt. Here's your 5 shillings. Gratefully received. So, the special exhibit awaits behind the curtain. I invite you to peruse it at your leisure. Okay. Well, the money's been spent, so let's go and see the special exhibit. Let's go. Let's have a little examine. Through those heavy curtains at last. Examine. 5 shillings we've had to pay. It doesn't seem right somehow that Mr. Sholmes slipped that money into his own pocket, does it? No. Ah, we could ask Gina to retrieve it for us, using their special skills. Pickpocketing police officers and diddling detectives. Is this what makes Britain great? No, not really. Not to mention demigod prosecutors taking the law into their own hands or chip-living inspectors. Inspector Gregson comes off rather well in that list, I think. Yeah, all he does is eat fish and chips all day. All he does is just go to Chippy and buy some food. Okay, yeah, there's no head. Oh dear. I felt a shiver run down my spine as soon as we walked in here. Mrs. Sato, I say we turn on our heels and go straight home. We are a really big confectionery. We simply can't do that. We've paid 5 shillings already. True. Actually, now I'm looking at it a little more closely. We paid good money to see an exhibit that's clearly incomplete. Yeah. The nerve of the great diddling detective is far more terrifying than anything in this place. This must be what Mr. Sholmes meant when he said the case was largely solved. Be that as it may, Mr. Sholmes heavily implied there'd be a clue about the engineering there, didn't it? But where, since we paid 5 shillings, let's do 5 shillings worth of investigating, shall we? Yes, we'll get what we paid for. It's that fair frustration that's making Pssst's voice tremble. Okay. This part of the exhibit is just as disturbing as the rest. It looks so real. It seems to be a young man in a white overcoat. And he has a large shovel in his hands too. Look. Perhaps we should investigate in a little more detail. Oh, we can just move the camera around. Okay. You have to kind of use both mouse and keyboard, or just mouse in these parts. Well, that's shovel. He's holding it rather ominously, isn't it? What on earth was the man doing with a shovel in a graveyard in the middle of the night? Mr. Sato? Yeah? That's a spade, eh? No, it's a shovel. No, shovels are digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade. You've been through this, Mr. Naruto. It's a shovel. No. Although, we haven't considered trowels. We've allowed ourselves to be distracted, I feel. Perhaps we should concentrate on what the man was doing with the implement. So we're going to bury the hatchet? You're right, though. What was the man doing in the graveyard in the first place? That's the real question. Ooh, a camera. What's this here? Well, this would appear to be a lens in the middle, so I believe it's probably a camera. A camera? But it's so small. British technology is incredible, isn't it? I mean, what about Mr. Sholmes' skin prints? I mean, I think perhaps you should treat Mr. Sholmes' inventions as exceptions to the rule. But anyway, why would the man be in a graveyard at night with a camera? I wonder, perhaps he was trying to capture the moment a dead body came back as a ghost on film. We'll just borrow this for a little while, I think. Camera added into the court record. By looking at the photographic plate inside the camera, you can see what picture has been taken. What's a photographic plate? It's a piece of glass coated in a special emulsion that reacts to the light coming out of the coming through the lens. If we open the cover at the back of the camera, we should find it. Let's have a look. You should see yourself, Psssttt-san. Your eyes are shining. You really do like machinery, don't you? Can we? Why is this such an awkward? Why can't we move? Why can't we zoom in and out? This is such an awkward thing. I can't see his face very well, can you? Perhaps if I just... Oh, do you think you should be handling the exhibits, Mr. Naruto? I'll put it back exactly as it was, don't worry. What on earth? Oh, I need 5 minutes. How can... I don't believe it. A black monocle. Mr. Naruto, is it possible that this man is... Yeah. It's Enoch Drebber. The colour of his hair is different, but it's unmistakably him. Indeed it is. Mr. Sholmes, this man is the subject of your present hunt, I believe. Yes, that's right. Just who is this man? Why is he here in this exhibit? And why does the convict behind him have no head? The head was missing when the bottle was returned by the thief who stole it. What a surprise. Still, the case isn't yet solved, is it? Did I not say so myself? Large to solve, marvel my words, I believe. I must locate the missing head. Truly students, as Madam would say, or I'll be in grave trouble. A very hungry Irish still awaits my return to Baker Street, preferably with rations. Do you know though? Something about this room is strange. Strange, what do you mean? Well, the displays in the House of Horrors are supposed to depict real events, are they not? Indeed they are, Mr. Sato. Do go on. And as terrifying as they are, the scenes in the other exhibits are believable. But this one, this surely couldn't ever really happen, could it? I think it's time I educated you a little about the nature of the incidents involving the professor 10 years ago. Okay. I believe I told you a little about the professor yesterday, did I not? He took the lives of 5 victims, everyone being either a member of the aristocracy, that sounds weird, or royalty, or were attacked by an enormous hunting hound and had their throats ripped from their bodies. Oh gosh, an enormous hound? How awful. After taking the lives of his 5th victim, the killer was apprehended. It was a case of unprecedented magnitude in Britain. You understand, accordingly. The professor was tried in a closed court. No members of the public were permitted. A closed court? To mean the professor's identity? As you surmise, my dear fellow, his identity was never made public. Naturally, he was found guilty and was summarily sentenced to death by hanging. He was buried in a grave at Lowgate Cemetery, which adjoins the rear of the prison where he had been held. However, that was not the end of the affair. Oh. The very night that he was buried, the convicted man came back to life. Came back to life? He clawed his way out of the ground and emerged into the moonlit graveyard. The exhibit here depicts the very scene, as described by the sole witness to this chilling event. There was a witness? Oh, of course, my dear fellow. It was none other than the young man in the white overcoat. And Trevor, he saw it happen. Okay, the young witness. So this is a waxwork model made of Trevor. 10 years ago, the convicted professor had been gibbeted and buried, emerged from his grave in the dead of night. The sole witness to that unimaginable scene was this young man. From appearances, I would say he was about 20 years old. It's so horrifying. Scared out of his wits, the young Trevor ran to a nearby police station to report the incident. And the sheer terror of what he'd seen is said to have turned his hair white overnight. Yeah, as shown in the photograph we have of him, his hair is completely white. For the following few days, the story of what he'd seen was on every front page in the capital. I decided soon, guys, The public was frantic for every last detail about the killer who'd come back to life. As you've seen, an exhibit was even created here at Madame Dispel's. I can quite understand why the man's hair turned white, certainly. But what I don't understand is what Mr. Trevor was doing in the first place, in a lonely graveyard in the middle of the night. Yeah, what was he up to? I believe I told you a little about the professor yesterday, did I not? He took the lives of 5 victims, everyone being either a member of the aristocracy or royalty, or were attacked by an enormous hunting hound and had their throats ripped from their bodies. Oh gosh, an enormous hound? How awful. After taking the lives of his 5th victim, I'll wait until the ad ends. Stretch. God. stretch. Jesus Christ. Jeez. I have said this before. I never know what to just ramble on about in these like ad breaks, because it's like by the time I have like, because like by the time I've had a drink and I've had like a little stretch, it's already like halfway done. So yeah, I mean it should be done soon anyways. We're like what, 10 more seconds left of it. We can wait like 10 more seconds, shall we? And welcome back from the ad, everybody. Welcome back from the ad. After taking the life of his fifth victim, the killer was apprehended. It was a case of unprecedented magnitude of brain. You understand? Accordingly, the professor was tried in a closed court. No members of the public were permitted. Closed court? Assuming that the professor's identity, as you've surmised, my dear fellow, his identity was never made public. Naturally, he was found guilty and was summarily sentenced to death by hanging. He was buried in a grave at Lowgate Cemetery, which adjoins the prison he was at. However, that was not the end of the affair. Oh. The very night that he was buried, the convicted man came back to life. He clawed his way out of the ground and emerged into the moonlit graveyard. The exhibit here depicts that very scene as described by the sole witnesses to those chilling events. There was a witness? Of course, my dear fellow, it was none other than the young man in the white overcoat. And Trevor, you saw it happen? Haven't we just read through this? Yes, we did. Okay, I think we need to examine something else. We need to examine this. This must be the killer. The fiend known as the Professor. Yeah, I think so. According to what Madame Psssttt said, he killed 5 victims, all of noble or royal blood. The waxwork is so lifelike, isn't it? Like all the models in this place. I know, it looks like it could start moving at any moment, doesn't it? If only it had a head, that is. Perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. So this is the condemned man. Yeah, the so-called professor. Then perhaps his head was chopped off by a guillotine, but unable to find peace, he emerged from his grave as a headless ghost. Do we have to entertain such terrifying ideas, Mrs. Sato? Anyway, I'm sure the model had a head once. There's a metal fitting for it, see? Then perhaps Mr. Shum absent-mindedly forgot to reattach it? That's an extremely absent-minded detective you're describing, isn't it? Or perhaps the thief absent-mindedly forgot to include the head when he or she returned it to the museum. And that would be an extremely absent-minded thief. Could there be some reason why only the head wasn't returned? Well, whatever the reason, it means we don't know what the face of the infamous professor looked like, do we? Oh. There's something caught just inside the convict's jacket here. It looks like a piece of broken glass. And quite a big piece too. It's very thick, isn't it? About 5 times thicker than normal window glaze, I'd say. Where could such a thick piece of glass have come from, I wonder? I suppose it must have been made thick to increase its strength. But why? Well, perhaps because the glass had to span a particularly wide area, such as in a big building, for example. Well, we've seen a large glass building recently, haven't we? And some of the glass was broken too. You know what I mean? Exactly. The Crystal Tower at the Great Exhibition. Why would glass from the Crystal Tower be lodged inside this waxworks jacket? It makes you think, doesn't it? The piece of broken glass has been added into the court record. Okay, wait, I think we need to talk about earlier in court we established that the kinesis experiment was a trick. But yeah, I think we need to talk to Sherlock about one more thing. And now we discovered this fragment of glass here in the waxwork. Is it just a coincidence? Okay, I think that's all we need to examine. With that one. Yeah, we have one more thing to talk to Sherlock about. I keep meaning to say Sherlock for some reason, but no, it's Sherlock. The professor's acts of terror threw London's upper classes into a complete panic 10 years ago. It was a great scandal one, you might say, at the highest levels of society. And since the killer's identity was never made public, rumours abounded. After all, no killer has ever before systematically employed a dog as a murder weapon. Yeah, I can imagine the impact the case must have had. But in time, of course, the rumours abated. So too did talk of the shocking witness account of the convict who came back to life. It was forgotten, dismissed as a dubious ghost story, as a preposterous tale tale. But why did people stop believing it? Why? Simply because there was no resurrection to speak of, as was established in fact. What do you mean by no resurrection? The police investigated the grave in Lowgate Cemetery and published their findings. The convict's body was found to be buried exactly where it had been following the execution. No. But that would mean Mr. Drebber must have lied to the police and the newspapers. That would appear to be the only logical explanation, yes. The young man subsequently vanished from society, and nothing has been heard of him since. It's rather striking then that he should be surfaced now, don't you think? Of course, a convicted murderer couldn't really have come back to life, that's not possible. But Drebber's hair is unusually white, and if that... What do you say? What's the worst thing? And if that really did happen overnight as a result of shock, it's hard to believe the incident was an out-and-out lie. Huh? Gina! What the bleep did Nora do? What have you gone and done? Gina, why are you doing it? I asked Iris, and she said this is where you'd been, so... Gina, there's a letter in the museum. Madam Disposal have you take a position as a waxwork if you're not careful. I think that might be a more pressing concern. I still had some flesh powder left from 6 months ago, so... Alright, Gina, we understand, but please, put down the gun. I got scared. You should try being the one on the other end of the barrel. So, what brings you here, Gina? Hello, Ace. Welcome on in. I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing, Ace? How are you doing? So, what brings you here, Gina? What brings me here? What do you think? We found it. We found that dodgy Cove's workshop. What? You found Drebber's workshop? So terrible? Let me guess. It's because of exams, right? 2 big exams on Friday. Oh shit! 2 exams in 1 day. That's kind of shit, isn't it? That's kind of shit, isn't it? Yep, Toby's nose took me straight there. The boss and the others are headed over there now in a jam. So come on. Very nervous. I've already failed. You'll do great, Ace. You'll do great. I promise to you that he'll do better than you'll expect. I promise. Here's the address. I got the boss to write it out. Oh, thank you, Gina. We'll make our way there at once. Alright then. See you there. You go. Don't mind me. I'll just stay here. Being still. What? I know my place. In the exhibit over there. Oh look! Oh dear. Someone's feeling sorry for himself. Let's go, Mr. Sholmes. You're coming. Your words hearten me, I must say. But if I were to shirk my duties here, Madam would have me pay monetary recompense, and I sustain my work. Forget that, I'll pay for everything. Then there's not a moment to lose, my dear fellow. I shall hail the carriage at once. Damn. No offer to share the cost from Mr. Sholmes then. I shall gladly pay half, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you, Mr. Sato. Right, let's go. Fancy, man. looks like... Oh, it's another super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine. Immediately repair up. Though only a prototype naturally. Ah, so you got it then. Gina, well done for finding this place. And in such little time, you've really worked miracles. It's Toby here who's the miracle worker. Oh. Ah, I thought you lot would show up before long. Hello, Inspector. That's one knitted brow. Yeah, you good there? Looks like he's eating a lemon and a bag of fish and chips. So, Inspector, is there any sign of the engineer? Sadly not. We didn't find a soul in here. Oh, what a shame. Well, thank you for letting us know about this place and giving us a chance to investigate. I'm gonna check this discard pink really quickly. According to what Gina tells me, we only found it thanks to a clue that you lot turned up. I wouldn't want to say go to Paris with a debt of gratitude or paid now, would I? Thank you. Anyway, if you're open to snoop around here, I'd get cracking. Lord Van Zieks and the forensic investigation team are on their way as we speak. There again, I imagine you've got the picture by now. They don't take too kindly to liar types. Right. So then, my dear fellow, let's turn this place upside down whilst we have the chance. And you, Sholmes. Pardon? They take even less kindly to great detectives than they do to lawyers. Ah ha 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 ha. Very dry, Gregson, very dry. Very droll even. But you may consider me nothing more than an inconspicuous waxwork puddle. Okay. Right then, let's see what we can find here. Examine. This door doesn't want to open. Yeah, looks like it's got a pre-FDR lock on it. There's a specialist locksmith on the way up from the yard, so hands off till he gets there. With permission, Inspector, I could have the lock open in just a minute. Well, you don't have permission, and no one's giving it to you. Gregson looks as though he really enjoyed it. Well, there's no sign of anybody on the inside. No, Drummer must have fled at the first sign of danger. Just get over here that we can't inspect. It's a big mission. There's another one of these kinesis machines here though. I'm sorry, Mr. Narhoda. That machine is covered by the special dispensation for scientific equipment. There would be serious repercussions if you were to examine it. From the Crown and the government. Isn't that weird? Those two are fucking examining it. So it's Gregson. Well, those two don't seem to be holding back. It's quite hollow inside. No working parts or devices of deception to be seen, my dear fellow. No loose change dropped on the floor, nothing. Not even a bone for Tobier, my dear fellow. He's copying a lot. British people are very much ruled by their own ideas, aren't they? I think that's just these two, Mrs. Saka. No. Look at these. This is. It's a European style quiver of arrows with steel bolts inside. Oh, you suppose crossbow bolts then, these. And just the right size for the bow you lot turned up at the exhibition grounds. In other words, yep, that's more evidence to support your theory. It all goes to show that Gemma was the one pulling the strings behind the scene of this old scam. This appears to be most interesting. Yes, most interesting indeed, wouldn't you say? It's an impressive looking back massager, that's for sure. I know that if you hit your shoulders a few times with that, the aches and pains of goats should go away. It's a Royal Society trophy for excellence in science. A young scientist could wish for no higher honor. Would you like a massage? No, thank you. I had no idea it was such a grand thing. I think it's becoming increasingly clear that there's much more to this Enoch Drebber than conjuring tricks. I couldn't agree more, my dear madam. And how about you, Mr. Narado? Wouldn't you like to take it with you? For your tired shoulders, of course. He's not going to let that go, is he? It's curious though, isn't it? You'd expect such an important trophy to be proudly on display somewhere, not haphazardly cast aside. English gentlemen can be quite a mystery at times. Okay, that's been added to our court record. Oh? Is something wrong, Mr. Sato? Well, I thought I heard a noise from the far side of that door. Oh, Gina? Did you hear that too? Yeah, I heard it. Alright. And what'd you reckon, Toby? What? My dad is calling me again. My dad just called me. And that's it. Hey, you still awake? And I was just like... confused. Right, mind the grease. Whoever's in there, open up. This is Scotland Yard. Weird. Alright, someone is in there. Is it Enoch? This rotten, bleeding log. My name Gregson, as I said only minutes ago. If only it were countenance, I could have unlocked that door in less than a minute. Why did he just stuff his fish and chips in his pocket? Fine, I'll take the rap for it. Just get us through that blasted door. There, you may enter at will. You've confused minutes with seconds, I think. Time is of the essence, I feel. What are we waiting for? Nothing for it, I suppose. This is an emergency. There is a strong possibility that beyond that door is the engineer you seek. Be prepared for action, my dear fellow. Yes. Oh. What happened in here? Why is everything upside down? Rats, there ain't no one in it after all. But there must be. There's only moments ago that we heard those noises. Maybe that was the sound of Drebber running away. But there's only one door into this room. There's footsteps on here though. On the roof here. And the windows that could afford an escape route. The skies are too high. Again, there's footprints here though. What's that up there? Are they footprints on the ceiling? Blow me, what we have here then? Okay. Looks like someone was trying to burn something in a hurry. Oh, that looks like a set of blueprints. So what? So that Professor Hairbrain's Barbie machine in it. Blimey, if we'd had these, there'd have been no need to muck about trying to investigate all that scrap metal. Oh yeah, there's something of great interest here too. This rope was lying on the floor at the foot of that pillar. A rope? What's significance about that? To get here? Never mind. You see, but you do not observe, Mr. Narado. We must investigate the entire room thoroughly. And before the forensic investigation team arrive too. Examine. Okay, what's Sholmes looking at? This just looks out of place there. Mr. Sholmes, have you found something? Ah, Mr. Narado. Yeah, in point of fact, something rather fascinating. What do you make of this? Let's see. I've never seen anything like it before. It looks like a bundle of thick cigars wrapped in a large... Mr. Sato? What's the matter? That's a... Surely that's a time bomb, isn't it? What? Did you say... a time bomb? Sorry, but... What is a time bomb exactly? Yeah. You truly are one of a kind, Mr. Naruto. I would take that as a compliment. Ha. You don't know nothing, do you, though? You haven't got a clue what it is either, have you, Gina? I invite you to consult a dictionary later, Mr. Naruto. This particular specimen is no time bomb, though I confess it has a very similar appearance. Oh, well, thank goodness. Then what is it? Let's see. So that's it. Goodness, Mr. Sholmes, have you seen to the heart of the matter? There are times when I consider my lot most unfair, for I'm fated to never know how it feels to flounder as you do when a puzzle presents itself. But I've still got to accept that the hardships that come with being a great detective, Mr. Sato. There we go, I feel a great deduction coming. Once again, I can draw two conclusions from the scene we see before us. The first is that the inverted nature of the furniture in this room is the work of Drebber himself. Oh, but how could you? And the second conclusion is that the small device on the floor there is without question completely genuine. Please, Mr. Sholmes, you must explain everything. It'll be a pleasure. After all, it is a great detective's civic duty to teach Scotland Yard the finer parts of the trade. He looks like he just ate 11. Well, Inspector Gregson seems delighted with the idea anyways. Oh, you deflected the inspector's blow with such fortitude there, Mr. Sholmes. Well done. You're too kind, my dear madam. I hereby dedicate this great deduction to you. Kindly stand just there, Mr. Sato. Oh, yes. I'd be delighted. So, shall we begin? Once again, Sherlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. The game is a full. It's plain to see that this room is in complete disarray. The bed, the table, the chairs, the lamps, everything is upside down. Almost as if every item in this room had until recently been happily positioned on the ceiling, before falling straight down onto the floor. Every item in the room that was on the ceiling, I suggested that. Indeed, the key here is gravity. It appeared that technology has at last succeeded in freeing us from the great pull of the earth. The gravity in this room was reversed, then suddenly restored to normality. Goodness! The inverted furniture was clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business. I can't understand your skepticism, Mr. Sato. I too was incredulous at first. However, my conviction in my analysis was cemented when I observed this. An anti-gravity device almost identical to one that featured in the dream of mine only the other day, in fact. But then, why does it have a clock on it? Most relevant question indeed. That is a timing device that controls when the gravity direction will switch. There was clearly a requirement for the engineer to be able to restore normal gravity automatically. And the commotion we heard earlier from the other side of the door was the moment when the restoration occurred. Yes, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the anti-gravity device. So you see, we need look no further to explain the state in which we found this room. The direction in which gravity acts in here was reversed by Mr. Drebber before being restored to normality in an automatic fashion sometime later by the timer device. I've witnessed precisely the scene in a dream I once had when I fell out of bed. Okay. One of the strangest things. Herlock has proposed, but it's Herlock, what do we expect? Now let's consider the next conundrum. What was our engineer's friend's aim? Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain his actions is above our heads. Okay, I'm going to check this Discord thing, actually. 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. There we go. Yes, how is it possible that there are footprints all the way up there on the ceiling? A question whose answer will lead us neatly to the truth, my dear madam. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby skylight. Of course, Drebber's aim was singular, to escape. However, there is but one way into this room, except in the skylight that is. By inverting the gravity in here, Drebber was able to fall conveniently to the ceiling and make his escape via the otherwise inaccessible skylight, leaving those footprints behind the wall. But the ceiling in here is very high, Mr. Jones. If the gravity reversal was sudden, wouldn't Mr. Drebber have fallen up to the ceiling and got off violently? Falling up is both scientifically and philosophically a rather interesting concept, I feel. But the man was cornered with nowhere to run, so escape through the skylight was an only option. You may recall that I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers a solution. Oh, the rope. To reach the intended destination, what tool better than this rope? By anchoring one end to the wall, the man was able to lower himself safely to the ceiling, which explains how Drebber was able to escape this room before our arrival. One of the strangest things you have brought up. This is one of the strangest ones this is one of the just weirdest deductions we've ever done. He reversed the pull of gravity and fled by the skylight. And personally, I should very much like to reverse the pull of gravity again. Now, just for fun. Just try it, Ella. Just try it. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle. My feelings exactly. Mood. She's completely spellbound. Mr. Sholmes, there's just one thing that troubles me. I expect nothing less. You're destined to be troubled by just one thing for the rest of your life. Thing is such a thing actually possible? And I'd say gravity device in. I would say that with man's current scientific knowledge at the turn of the 20th century, it's no more possible than instantaneous kinesis. But your whole deduction hinges on it. My dear fellow, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth, however improbable it may seem. It's a marvellous line, wouldn't you agree? One of my more enduring pearls of wisdom. I had Iris come up with the exact phrasing. My original was clumsy. Yeah, I have a feeling I've read it in something that Mr. Settle let me
Objection!
Actually, that is one of the things, Mr. Sholmes. The spell is broken at last. The rope you found on the floor, wasn't it? Indeed it was, in lonely coils near the walls. But if Mr. Drebber had used it to escape in the way you described, wouldn't it still be tied to the wall? Mysteries inevitably unravel in the end, as I think you will find do ropes. And as evidence of such, you need only look at the mystery we face in this room now skillfully unraveled. The argument is as circular as the coils of rope. I think perhaps we might need to give Mr. Sholmes the usual little helping hand. I'm sure some minor corrections, the great detective's great deduction, will lead us to the truth. Yeah, you're right. And we must do it quickly before Enoch Drebber gets too far away. If you're ready, then let us resume. Sherlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular. Course correction time. Let's just skip through these bits. Right. But these bits, and I'll only reread the stuff that we haven't read. Yeah. Sure, gravity. Okay, we just read all this. The inverted furniture. To think gravity could have been reversed in this room, I find the whole idea utterly enthralling. Only Mr. Sholmes could conceive of such an explanation, but the man himself admitted it was a scientific impossibility, so yeah, you're quite right. We must completely discount the idea at once. Oh, that's unusually merciless of you, Mr. Sato. When have you eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth? The great detective himself said so, didn't it? Whilst refusing to part of restrictions of anti-gravity devices? Yeah, I suppose so. But let's see if examining this topsy-turvy scene a little more closely reveals some proof that shows exactly what the gravity in this room was or wasn't doing. Why is this? And the safe, you know, right side up. Oh wait, that's bolted to the floor, that's an explanation. But why is this? Right
Take
up?
that!
I didn't examine that properly. The upright base clearly reveals the truth about the part gravity played in this whole business. Upon my word, Mr. Naruto, you've surpassed yourself by completely turning my argument on its head. Trying to impress your assistant here, perhaps? No one is trying to steal your spotlight here, Mr. Sholmes. Trust me. As you rightly say, though, it appears at first glance that all the furniture in the room is upside down. This unassuming slender base is standing keenly to attention. And unlike the large safe, there is nothing affixing it to the floor. And it's the exception that breaks the rule. In short, much as it pains me, the gravity in this room was never inverted at all. My deepest sympathies for your loss. Oh, poor Mr. Sholmes. But the show must go on, so let us continue with our deductions. Now that we know that this contrivance is not in fact an anti-gravity device, there remains but one other possibility. You don't say. Someone deliberately turned over every piece of furniture in here. Which might sound obvious, but leaves one mystery very much unsolved. Namely, why would anyone choose to do that at all? Quite, and naturally, there's an explanation. Yeah, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the anti-gravity device, which, you know, it's not true. He's absolutely determined that this device must have something to do with it, isn't it? I'm afraid the law of an exciting scientific explanation is too strong. Well, there's no doubt that somebody does this. Somebody turned all this furniture around. So whoever it must have had a reason. I'm afraid nothing comes to mind although. Well, let's look around and see if the answer presents itself. Let's have a look. Let's do that gravity device. Oh. Look, there's something written on the underside of this armchair. Yeah, safe 432582. Safe, as in safe and secure, as in secure lockable box, I think. Admittedly more likely. Well, there is a large safe bolted to the floor on the other side of the room, so yes. So you mean this number would let us open it? I wonder why it's written here though. I guess that's the only logical option. I guess. Yeah, the reason why everything in here has been turned upside down is because of the safe combination. Precisely. I believe, Mr. Naruhodo, that you had a very similar experience once, did you not? Yeah, last year, when I bought a lottery ticket and there was the ticket number down on the inside cover of a book, just in case. That's it. For people who are forgetful souls at heart and always make a written note of important information. Just keeping the ticket itself safe would be more sensible, I think. And what pray happened next, Mr. Naruhodo? When the day of the draw came round, I forgot which book I'd written the number in and had to turn my room upside down to find it. That's it. For people who are forgetful souls at heart, and I always forget where they've noted things down. Not if you always note things that in the same place. I actually won the second prize, you know. And I couldn't remember which magazine I slipped the ticket into, so I just turned my room upside down. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo, but I believe I've proved my point now. Which is that a very similar scenario has clearly unfolded in this room. Finding himself requiring access to the safe, the occupant of this room needed the combination code. He remembered that he'd written it on the underside of a piece of furniture, but forgotten which one, leading to the state in which we now find this room. Yes, Mr. Jabber overturned all the furniture in here, in a desperate hurry to locate the combination code that would unlock the safe. To find the secret combination. Now let us consider the next conundrum. What was our engineer friend's aim? Indubitably, the greatest clue we have to explain this actions is above our heads. Yeah, how is it possible that there are footprints all the way up on the ceiling? A question whose answer will lead us nearly to the truth, my dear madam. The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby skylight. Well, if a change in the direction of gravity can't explain it, then how did those footprints get up there? Yeah, I feel as though that particular mystery has just become harder to solve. I can't think of any other way to explain it at all. Oh, life was so much simpler in those halcyon days when gravity could be reversed. It was minutes ago, and those halcyon days never existed in the first place. Well, I suppose we must simply put our faith in Mr. Sholmes and observe the area in more detail. Putting our faith in Mr. Sholmes is what gets us into these situations in the first place. Why? Why is that shoe up there?
Take that!
The reason there are footprints on the ceiling is because of the nearby shoe. And on closer inspection, there are clearly footprints all over the balloon as well. In other words, the game was never the skylight at all, but the balloon. But for what purpose? A green balloon? That seemed somewhat familiar data. It was a piece of a green balloon's envelope that Mr. Naruhodo and Iris found at the scene. And inside the green balloon that Master Gott's claims he saw above the stage when the incident occurred was the second bird cage, the crux of the whole instantaneous kinesis deception. You mean to say, if we assume the balloon in here is a model of the one used on the day, there's a strong possibility something may have concealed inside. There's a strong possibility something may be concealed inside it. Something our absconder was desperate to retrieve before making their hasty getaway. But the balloon's out of reach. Hence why he resorted to a projectile, enabling the shoe. Most probably, Jabba intended to tear a hole in the envelope by assailing it with his foot. However, his efforts were thwarted when the shoe itself became a prisoner of those lofty heights. Oh dear. We desperately need to examine that balloon. If only there was some way we could see inside. You may recall that I found this in the room earlier, which I believe offers a solution. Oh, the rope! To reach the intended destination, what a better tool than this rope? Mr. Sholmes has managed to bring the deduction back to the rope. Alright, I have to admit, that was clever. So we just throw the rope up to the balloon and pull it down to a spot on the ground, which must be easier said than done, I feel. And could take us a very long time as well. True, perhaps we need a more surefire method. In fact, we already have one of those, don't we? The crusher.
Take that!
To reach the intended destination, what better tool than this crossbow? That was found at the scene, in fact, and in all likelihood belongs to Mr. Drebber. If the man had only brought it away with him that day, he could have avoided losing a shoe at such a critical time like this. So, shall we? Your curiosity is deeply stirred, no doubt, my dear fellows. What is it that Mr. Enoch Drebber has hidden inside that balloon? Bam, 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 bam. What the? Oh wait, is that from Madame Tussauds at a waxwork? Indeed it is. A waxwork head inside the metal mask. Then that makes Enoch the ransomer, the kidnapper of the wax figure. A mask that is shut tight and fast with a strong and quite impenetrable lock. So you can't see the face inside, that means. Just a moment, this is the head of a waxwork model. Does that mean, oh goodness. I see you join the dots, Mrs. Sato? Excellent. Of course, a headless waxwork model. The case of the abducted Madame Tussauds model that you largely solved, it was only the head of the killer that was still missing. Indeed it was. But I believe Madame Tussauds would now have to settle her sizable account with me. This, as you now have surmised, is the head of the infamous professor. Yeah, but why is it here? This conclusively confirms my suspicions. The man responsible for stealing the professor from Madame Tussauds and returning it since earlier today was none other than Enoch Drebber. This is incredible. Professor Harebrain's case and the waxwork abduction are extrinsically linked by Enoch Drebber's workshop. Okay, that's been added to the combat card. I'm tired. Well, it appears our logical pleasure cruise has come to an end, my dear fellows. All that remains is, yes, to speak with the architect of this adventure. The architect? You mean Mr. Drebber? As it seems quite impossible that he escaped fire when in the skylights, obviously the man will still be in the room. What? And his location should be abundantly clear if we simply reflect on the journey we've made together during this deduction. And Drebber is right here, somewhere in this room. So Mr. Naruhado, will you do the honors? Yes, of course. Mr. Drebber's hiding place must be the safe. Look at all that mess in front of the safe. Yes, plans and accounting ledgers. Almost as if somebody was in a hurry to empty the contents of the safe, in fact. Present that.
Take that!
That must be his hiding place. That must be. Before we gained access to the back room, we had noticed from in here, which tells us that the engineer was still in the building at that point in time. He was in fact searching for the combination to his safe, and pressed the time, made no attempt to write the furniture that he overdone in the process, from which we can deduce that his search for the combination happened very recently indeed. In summary, Mr. Enoch Jabber is at this very moment inside the safe. This concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this topsy-turvy puzzle. Deduction complete. Thank you, my dear fellow. So, Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps it's time we ended this game of hide and seek, don't you? By opening the safe, you mean? What else? Let's see. The combination was 1, 4, 3, 2, 5, 8, 2. I knew that. Alright then, here goes. There we go. There he is. You found it. Okay. Okay. Slightly dramatic. Right then, sir. Mr. Enoch Jabber, I presume? Correct. You better start talking. You tricked Professor Harebrand with that bogus machine you built. And you shall have to explain the theft of the waxwork from Madame Psssttt as well. Whilst I would be delighted to answer your many questions, personally, I would advise that you deactivate my little parcel first. Deactivate your parcel. I refer to, of course, to the time bomb. I left it in a most prominent position. Ah! Ha 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 ha. I see. Stunned silence. You're all gearing up to die with me then. No. Mr. Shaw, with only 7 seconds left to spare. That was too close to comfort. I'm on one side of the grave already. I trained to help us get a killer or get us killed. Mr. Schultz's deductions can be completely life-altering, can't they? Well, my dear fellows, that was a close shave. The resemblance to an anti-gravity device is really quite startling, I must say. Anti-gravity devices don't exist. Oh, how would I push it, Mr. Sholmes? Confess. What has happened here? You found me, haven't you? No need to screw me down any further. Everything in here is precisely what it seems. Yeah, well, we'll be giving it a thorough going over, don't you worry, Jabber. What first to click with me is how you were able to locate my workshop. That I was not expecting. When I heard a whistling from the other room, I knew it was time to pull. Whistling? That would have been me. Oh. For some reason, I woke up in fine battle today. No words, just tightly squeezed chips. Clearly, I must have been screw loose, though, as I couldn't remember the combination for the safe. And another loose, as I couldn't remember on which piece of furniture I'd write it down. We also found the rope over by the wall. Yeah, I'd hoped to escape from the skylight, but sadly the rope was too short. So I then set about searching for the combination code to open the safe. I'm burning the incriminating blueprints, don't forget. Regrettably though, you failed to retrieve the head from the balloon among the rafters. And after that, you hid yourself inside the safe. Having first set these parcels ticking. Well, I had no intention of being nailed by the police. Got a death wish, have you? Hiding right beside the ticking time bomb? Please, why do you suppose I chose to hide inside the safe? It's no ordinary safe, it's specially designed. A dynamite explosion wouldn't leave a scratch on it. So in fact, the safe was the only safe place. Precisely. But once you climbed inside, you wouldn't have been able to get out again. I invite you to look more closely. The safe is fitted with a handle on the inside to allow the door to be locked from within. Ah, so it is. I had always intended to blow this place to smithereens in any case. I just wasn't expecting uninvited guests to come along and screw up my plans. Do you mean to say you were planning to blow us all up? No, that was unforeseen. What do you mean? Most people run, you see, when they see a ticking time bomb at their feet. I calculated the time required for a retreat to a safe, a distance, and set the time accordingly. But your seemingly endless discourse in here threw a spanner in the works. Is something wrong, Gregson? Do you have something on my face, besides the usual eyes, ears, nose and mouth? I think we have a fairly good idea of what's been going on here now. But what about the two incidents you've evidently been involved in recently? Professor Harbrain's instantaneous kinesis experiment at the Great Exhibition, and the waxwork model you stole, which this head belongs to. That's no ordinary head, you know. That's the head of the professor, clad in a mask with a lock so strong, I'm unable to open it safely to reveal the killer's identity. I've been considering carrying it around as protection, after all. That's enough. Oh, it's thingy, what's in it? Safe. Professor Safe. What's going on here, Gregson? I'm sure you're aware that I have sole jurisdiction to investigate here. Yeah, well, Dr. Safe is here, Dr. Safe again. So the forensic investigation team are here. And you know full well this engineer is a key witness. Why are you allowing this lawyer access to him? If Lord Strongheart knew of this, he'd be finished. You lot, leave it alone, at once. My dear madam, there's no need for such a threatening tone, I assure you. After all, that's no way to greet an old acquaintance, is it, Dr. Side? Add in 5 minutes. Hello, Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes knows Dr. Side. If it's protecting the machine next door that's causing such a sour expression on your face, you are quite misguided. It's really nothing but a shell. You get out. But of course, we'll show ourselves the door. I see you haven't softened at all. Mr. Naruhodo, yeah? It would appear that our delightfully entertaining investigations have run their course for today. But from Mr. Sholmes, let's leave this place in the doctor's capable hands. I said get out, now, all of you. Your presence here is not required either, Gregson. Understood. But I'll just say one thing before I head off. If it wasn't for this lawyer and his companions, we'd never have found this place, and the whole workshop would have been blown to bits. There's a time bomb sitting here that this lot disarmed. Inspector. right, of course. You did this on time bomb, didn't you? Yeah, you did that one. Eh? Why are you... That one? Yeah, you mean... Oh? Oh! There's another one. Oh. It was an hour later that we heard the news. Of the enormous explosion that ripped through the experimentation stage at the Great Exhibition. Professor Harebrain's invention and all its secrets were blown away forever. Oh. Bobby, you tapped and lurking. Oh, welcome in, Tanka. Welcome in. I hope you're doing pretty good. Hope you're doing good. Thank you for the lurk. Thank you for the lurk. Okay, let's save here. We've done. We've got the trial to do next, so we're gonna do that on Friday. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do the last trial. We're gonna do the last trial on Friday. The first part of the trial doesn't seem that long, and the third part of the trial. The second part of the second trial. It's like only 3 class examinations, which isn't too bad. So I'm gonna save. I already just saved. Yeah. I'm gonna go raid out. Should we raid out? Yeah, let's raid out. And Naz is live. Naz Studios is live. Playing a bit of Honkai Star Rail. So yeah. Let's go raid Naz. After I'll put in the command. I'm gonna wait until this ad has ended until I properly raid it out. So thank you guys for sticking around. All my socials should be in the About Me section or in the commands. And yeah, shall see you guys Friday. Bye.